Part 12. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 111. Yilin slipped away. Before those good citizens of Gotham City took out weapons and grenades, Yilin decisively activated Shadow Follower and disappeared around the corner. Silently. Li Erpang's presence was too strong after the murder, so no one noticed Yilin's departure. Maybe. Even if you notice it, it won't be a big deal. After all, Yiren is not a criminal yet. Really? After listening to Li Erpang's narration, Yilin had a certain understanding of the worldview of this trial. But at the same time, many violations were also discovered. A trial where even Fatty Li knows the outcome? Oh, how is that possible? Thinking it safe, there is definitely a pitfall in this. Huge pit. Sure enough, Li Erpang stepped in with his foot. This pit is still the kind with a spike trap. Crime seems to be some kind of flag. Once a crime is committed, an endless pursuit begins. Yilin began to think about all the clues. This Gotham City is very big and prosperous. The towering buildings, the developed rail transit, and the advanced thermal weapons in the hands of good citizens all tell the story of how dangerous this world is, quite high. Although they are apostles, after experiencing several attribute improvements, their attribute values are much higher than ordinary humans. But we are still human. As long as you haven't broken through the shackles of human beings, you will still bleed and die. Yilin thought for a while in the darkness. Before breaking through the first layer of lock, you must at least use the ghost energy buff to stack the attribute values to the limit like in the Aniwo Mountain trial, so that you can crush this trial with absolute strength. Otherwise, it's better to find a reasonable way to pass the level and get a higher clearance rating. While Yilin was thinking, he was far away from the explosion area and turned several streets. Yilin didn't know where she was. There is no map after all. Not far away, the commotion gradually spread. The sounds of explosions and gunfire continued one after another, but as Yilin moved away, they became increasingly blurry. Yilin casually opened the sin list and took a look. Li Erpang's guilt value is slowly rising at a constant speed. Oh, he's still so rough-skinned and thick-bodied, and can withstand beatings. It's indeed him. In Arkham Nursing Home, Yilin, who is in an aging state, may not be able to resist Harley Quinn's blow and still be alive and kicking. But after the fat man took a stick, except for some nosebleeds, a bruise on his nose and a swollen face, nothing happened. This defensive power is terrifying. If you don't deserve this meat tank, who should? No, it seems there is Suzayasu. The double tank start is stable. At this moment, the death mark on Yilin's chest shook slightly. Open it and take a look. Li Erpang, damn it. You tricked me. Turn over the table. Yilin thought for a moment and then replied, let's encourage each other. Awesome. Then he temporarily set Do Not Disturb on Li Erpang's contact list. Same treatment as Li Chang'e. By the way, although the apostle communication function is convenient for communication, it cannot communicate with the real world in the other world. After all, time passes at different speeds in this world and in the real world. Not in the same service area at all, no signal. Where is Pangenji? Only then did Yilin realize that Pangenji was inexplicably lost in the gorgeous explosion just now. That's fine. Yilin quickly shook her head. He was not Pangenji's nanny and could not always take care of him in the other world. And, there must be some reason why Pangenji can survive until now. The strange thing is that there is no information about Pangenji in Yilin's memory. Watch him perform on his own. The streets are quiet. Many vehicles were parked on the roadside. The car door opens. Didn't even take out the key. With double flash. It was as if the entire city was rushing to hunt down Li Erpang. The people of Gotham are simple and civilized. If I hadn't witnessed with my own eyes the scene where countless grenades were smashed into Li Erpang's composted body, this Gotham City could be called a model of civilized city. Yilin silently mourned 3 seconds of silence for Li Erpang. At this time, Yilin turned around another street. There are more and more pedestrians here, and they seem to be unaware of the rare crime that occurred a few streets away. A small bookstore appeared in front of Yilin. Bookstore. Yilin smiled slightly and walked in without hesitation. Welcome. Even though Yilin is dressed strangely, Yilin is not yet a criminal. Although she carries a small amount of guilt, at least it is not revealed in front of others. So for now, Yilin is still innocent. Yilin ignored the store manager and started rummaging around in the bookstore. Yes. Sure enough, there was a stack of Gotham City travel guide on one of the cabinets. Turn to the first page. Welcome to peace-loving Gotham City. The second page. Welcome to Gotham City, a city with zero crime. The third page. The people here are simple and honest, and it's a paradise for vacations, retirement, tourism, and finding romantic encounters. Yilin. Yilin had no expression on her face as she flipped through the travel guide pages to the end. Sure enough, a long additional page can be pulled out at the end. Gotham City map. Yilin smiled slightly. Now Yilin's mental attribute has reached 6.4, and her memory is amazing. Although it is not as exaggerated as photographic memory, 10 lines at a glance, as long as you memorize it carefully and use the memory palace method, you can clearly imprint the map in your mind. However, because the heights of all buildings were not marked on the map, Yilin was unable to mentally transform the flat map into a 3-dimensional map for a while. A little disappointed. But it doesn't matter, as long as it works. Gotham City is so big that many movements would be inconvenient without a map. It took 5 minutes and 20 seconds for Yilin to finally memorize the entire Gotham City map in her mind. After spending a little more time, Yilin closed her eyes and recalled it carefully 6 times, compared it with each other, and after confirming that there were no mistakes, she put down the Gotham City travel guide in her hand. Gotham, a good tourist city with zero crime rate in 20 years. Oh, that means. Yilin silently analyzed the information obtained from the travel guide. Or rather, intelligence. He suddenly missed the explosive mental attributes during the Giwu Mountain trial. The thinking in that state is simply too easy to use. At this time, the bookstore owner seemed to notice Yilin's strange behavior. After all, Yilin also stood holding a book for nearly 6 minutes, so it was impossible not to notice. If he encounters a grumpy boss, he might just kick Yilin out. It's a pity that the citizens of Gotham are simple. When the bookstore owner saw this, he just smiled slightly and even cast a kind and warm look. He lowered his head and continued playing with his mobile phone without paying much attention to Yilin. As expected, the folk customs are simple and honest. Yilin chuckled. Just when Yilin was about to leave, he glanced around and accidentally discovered a whole row of books with identical covers. To be precise, it's an entire bookshelf filled with books from the same series. The title of the book is interesting. Batman Legends. Legend of the Riddler. The Legend of the Clown. The Legend of Harley Quinn. Etc. In short, Yilin was a little surprised. After 1 hour, Yilin put down the thick copy of The Legend of the Riddler in her hand. There is a gleam in his eyes. Unexpectedly, the story told by Li Erpang would be sold in a bookstore so openly. Of course, it would be good if the content recorded in these books is accurate to 50%. At the very least, Batman's real name is not recorded in the Batman Legends book. No one knows. Perhaps the person who wrote the book didn't know. There is a lot of speculation in the book. But it seems, none of them are reliable. The exciting little reads on the entire bookshelf can be summed up as the story of Batman and a group of villains falling in love and killing each other. That's probably it. Among these characters, only two have not had their real names recorded. Batman, and the Joker. It is said that 20 years ago, Batman and the Joker fought in Gotham City, both died, and never appeared in Gotham City again. Heh, this trial is getting more and more interesting. Then now. Yulin chuckled and slowly walked to the counter under the watchful eye of the store manager. Man, don't you have anything you want to buy? The store manager asked with a warm smile. Yulin suddenly lowered his head and muttered in a low voice, I suddenly understood how hard it was for the fat man to do anything. The folk customs are really simple. If she hadn't witnessed the scene where the fat man was almost killed by a grenade, Yulin would probably have to go through 5 minutes of mental construction before she could be ruthless enough to be this evil person. As for now, there is no psychological burden. Huh? What are you talking about, man? Yulin raised her head and smiled slightly, do you have a sticky note? It's a hard one. The bookstore owner was slightly startled, his mind filled with questions. This was the first time he saw someone come to the bookstore to buy sticky notes. But it doesn't matter. As a citizen of Gotham City with simple folk customs, we will try our best to meet the needs of every customer. No matter how unreasonable this demand is. Unless, it can't be done. Soon, the bookstore owner found a note from under the counter. Do you have a pen? A thick one. Yes, yes. The bookstore owner took out another oil-based pen. Yulin thought for a moment and quickly wrote a line of text on the paper. In fact, it doesn't matter if you don't understand foreign languages. As an apostle, you will have the power from the tower to thoughtfully provide the most reasonable official translation for each apostle. Although the bookstore owner has a good attitude, he still feels baffled by Yulin's weird behavior. Yulin quickly wrote a sentence on the note. Then I thought about it carefully. A big question mark was drawn on the back of the note. Well, this looks pretty good. Bookstore owner. Now. Yulin squinted his eyes and smiled, showing a smile that was more honest than the simple-minded citizens of Gotham City. Robbery. What the KKKKK. The bookstore owner's eyes widened. 10 minutes later. A police car stopped in front of the bookstore. Two blonde male police officers wearing wrinkled uniforms with unbuttoned buttons and bulging beer bellies came to the bookstore where Yulin had stopped, burping from wine. Bob, did you call the police? One of the police officers lit a cigarette and puffed away in the bookstore. Another police officer pulled out a small metal wine bottle from his trouser pocket and took a swig. Belch. A long puff of vodka came out of his mouth. Feel good. Feeling relaxed all over. Officer, there's a robbery. There's a robbery. The bookstore owner, known as Bob, didn't seem surprised by the behavior of the two police officers. Instead, he looked excited and lit a cigarette and took a deep drag. Robbery. Robbery. The two blonde police officers smelling of alcohol looked at each other. Then he couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha. My dear Bob, today is not April Fool's Day. Stop making such jokes. If I wasn't bored, I wouldn't bother coming here. Hey. The police officer, who was drinking vodka, said with a drunken smile, unfortunately, I heard that a murder occurred near Robinson Park. Oh, my dear, I haven't heard of a crime in Gotham City in 20 years. My gun is as ready as my bird. I heard that 2 female criminals also appeared in Burnley district. He, I heard that they killed many people. Bob, if you damn guy hadn't called the police and reported a robbery, we would have been able to join in the elimination of that crazy criminal. The two of them laughed again while talking. Bob shrugged helplessly. Wait, are you serious? The smoking police officer put out his cigarette butt on the ground and asked seriously. Nonsense. How dare I joke about crime? This is Gotham. Wait, what did he rob you for? That damn Orientalist actually snatched my oil-based pen and sticky notes. He even left a next crime notice. The two police officers' eyes widened instantly. The wine also sobered up a bit. Etc. This is simply. Madam, it's so exciting. It turned out to be a preview of the next crime. Bob took out a card. The two police officers quickly snatched the card from Bob's hand. On the back of the card, a question mark was drawn crookedly with an oil-based pen. Question mark. Could it be? Suddenly, they remembered a criminal who only existed in legends. Etc. Impossible, that criminal has long since disappeared into Gotham City. How could he come back to the world? But out of some sense of curiosity, the two blonde police officers still turned over the question mark card. I saw a line of inexplicable words written on it. When day and night meet, I stand bravely in front of the black and white beasts. The black and white beasts have already devoured more disordered beasts in their belly. The beasts are gradually decaying into bones in the steel jungle. Magnificent fireworks are sleeping here, and I will use the most gorgeous fireworks to ignite Gotham and rekindle the first ray of light in the past. Signing. Yours sincerely, the elegant and wise riddle gentleman, Edward Lynn. Edward Ring? What the hell? The two police officers looked at each other. I wonder if I was drunk before I saw this weird notice letter. Is this a joke? The blonde police officer murmured uncertainly. Bob was angry. Officer, this is a crime. Robbing my oil-based pen is also robbery. Robbery. Wait, there are cameras in my store. Bob suddenly opened the surveillance screen on the computer screen as if he was offering a treasure. A young man with black hair wearing blue and white striped clothes. He openly smiled at the camera above his head. In the bookstore, the three people saw the scene and were stunned for a few seconds at the same time. Boom. Suddenly, the drunk police officer took out his gun and fired a shot at the ceiling. Provocation. This is a provocation to the Gotham Police Department. Snort. What's the crime of robbery? Capital offense. What is the crime of provoking the police? Capital offense. They are all capital crimes. Three grown men suddenly burst into laughter in the bookstore. It felt like it had been suppressed for a long time, revealing the pleasure that was gradually released. Quickly, notify Chief Gordon. Let's just say, there is another rampant criminal. Well, remember to say that he committed a capital crime. This is the key point. After Yilin grabbed the oil-based pen and sticky notes, she left the bookstore. Prompts appeared in front of my eyes. Robbery oil-based pen 1, robbery stack of notes 1, get guilty points add 1. General points for mosquito legs. Yilin counted the time in her mind and soon walked into a high-end clothing store. Then with the enthusiastic service of the good citizens of Gotham City, Yilin customized a high-end brand gentleman's evening dress. Of course, not green. He didn't have Edward's damn bad taste. Huh. What's the matter with this inexplicable translation accent? Yilin shook his head and put away the weird thoughts in his mind. I remember that there were many classical online novels in the past, which were filled with a lot of brain-dead plots like the protagonist entering a high-end clothing store dressed in poverty, and being ridiculed by passers-by and clerks, and then the protagonist showed off his incredible wealth and was slapped in the face. But now Yilin is wearing a dirty patient gown, and the citizens of Gotham are still very enthusiastic. I have to say, just looking at this, Gotham City is really simple. When the high-end evening dress is ordered. The moment Yilin took over the black men's evening dress from the enthusiastic clerk, the attributes of the equipment instantly appeared in front of her eyes. Elegant gentleman suit. Grade none. Durability 200/200. Effect: wear it and you will be the most handsome guy on the street. Explanation: as a rising star in Gotham's criminal world, you won't pay, right? Right? For this property. Yilin felt like she had nothing to say. But don't say it yet. The workmanship is quite good. The durability actually reached 200 points. Although it is a gradeless appearance equipment without any attribute bonus, it is at least twice as good as the patient uniform I am wearing. 4 times, to be precise. In the full-length mirror, Yulin was wearing an elegant black gentleman's evening dress, which actually gave him an inexplicable flavor. I feel like I look very pleasing to the eye. It seems there is something missing. Yulin wore gentleman's clothes and browsed around the store. Get graceful one's gloves. Get the gentleman's hat that won't fall off. Get hard to wear crocodile leather shoes. The name is quite intimidating. But the attributes are just that. It's not painful or itchy, so don't mention it. They are all Krypton gold appearance equipment. Yulin lowered the brim of his hat and smiled slightly. Dear sir, the total here is. Before the clerk could finish speaking, Yulin interrupted the clerk. Money or not, it doesn't matter. Yulin didn't plan to pay anyway. Yulin smiled slightly. Now, robbery. After receiving the report, the 2 policemen rushed to the clothing store in a hurry. After a round of crazy racing in the city, I almost woke up from the alcohol. The custom-made clothes here are famous and extremely expensive. It is said that almost all the dresses worn by Bruce Wayne, the richest man in Gotham City, when he attended the party came from here. Is it that damn Edward Lynn again? What did you steal this time? What? An evening dress? What did he do with these? It is said that after the mysterious Edward Lynn robbed and left, he also left a warm reminder card. There is still that hand-drawn scrawled question mark on the back. There is still a line of confusing text on the front. The elegant gentleman is ready to go and hurries to the black and white beast. The elegant gentleman is about to steal the sleeping fireworks and usher in a lively celebration for the deserted Gotham. Signing. Edward Lynn, who is about to become a good neighbor in Gotham. Yours truly. Bang 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 bang. Provocative. This is Chikuakuo's provocation. 2 police officers fired wildly into the ceiling. Officer, is that a criminal? The pretty blonde shop assistant suddenly flashed her eyes and asked in a sweet voice with a bit of expectation. Criminal. He committed a capital crime. Upon hearing this, the blonde beauty clerk suddenly took out a handful from under the counter. Micro submachine gun. Then he chuckled. Edward Lynn. Yulin silently savored this name that was full of bad taste. In fact, in principle, if you want to imitate the Riddler and commit crimes, you should call him Renigma. But Yulin always felt weird. Something clearly doesn't read right. So it all depends on preference. Time, dusk. 1735. The sun sets in the west, and there is still a small half of the sun hanging over the edge of the mountains. Location, black and white behemoth. Yulin looked at the strange building with black and white paint in front of her and smiled. Above the gate, there is a solemn sign hanging. Gotham Police Station. Official translation. Gotham Police Department. Remember to vote for it. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 112. Gotham City. Burnley District. 1700. Where are those 2 damn criminals? Run this way. Chase chase chase. Kill them. The criminals will die in Gotham City for us dash. The streets were crowded with people. It was a crowd of people armed with guns. Even among the crowd, there were several tall, muscular men carrying portable rocket-propelled grenade launchers on their backs, also commonly known as RPG rocket launchers. This offensive was terrifying. Police cars across the city have already taken action to participate in Gotham City's craziest crime eradication operation in the past 20 years. The piercing sound of police sirens rang through Burnley. Call. Suzayasu hugged Zuyunur, whose whole body was stained red with blood, and hid in a deserted alley. She lurked silently in the shadows of the alley. Seeing the crowd and the police car passing by, I didn't dare to move. Suzayasu's patient gown was also stained with a lot of blood. Some are from Zuyunur, and some are from herself. But in that critical moment just now, although she was hit by a few bullets, they did not hit her vital points and she did not lose much health. Moreover, those bullets were caught by Suzayasu's strong muscles, and with a little force, they were shot out of the muscles without causing any harm. But Zuyunur. Suzayasu lowered her head and glanced at the unconscious Zuyunur. Zuyunur's breathing in her arms seemed to be calmer. This alley is a dead end. There is no road. But Suzayasu walked silently to the end of the dead end. Lift one foot. Bang bang bang. As long as someone walks, that is the road. Suddenly, Suzayasu lowered his head. There was a hint of surprise in those calm eyes. She subconsciously rolled up Zuyunur's sleeves and took a look. She saw that the bullet wound had stopped bleeding inexplicably. There were several worm-like flesh and blood that were slowly squirming. The bullet head that had penetrated into the arm muscles was squeezed out bit by bit. The wound is actually healing on its own. Li Erpang was running frantically for his life. I was crying secretly in my heart. After being plowed by grenades from Robinson Park, Fat Li Er's stomach was already growling. He finally managed to use his nimble fat man's footwork to make 7 turns and 8 turns, and after temporarily getting rid of the bunch of good citizens with simple folk customs, he was finally able to take a breather. Damn it, if you continue like this, you're going to end up dead. Li Erpang gritted his teeth. When no one noticed, Li Erpang quietly opened the sin list and took a look. Everyone's sin value is slow progress. He suddenly thought of Yilin who had slipped away for no reason. Ah, spit. He spat on his feet and stepped on them hard. To show anger. Li Erpang squinted his eyes. Of course, he could only squint and couldn't open them. He suddenly saw a brightly lit fast food restaurant not far away. There is a red sign on it. There is a kind old man printed on the sign. An alluring aroma of meat wafts out from the fast food restaurant, which seems to contain onions, chicken, French fries, burgers, tomato juice. Li Erpang carefully distinguished the rich flavors in the fragrance, and unconsciously drooled. Let's fight. Li Erpang rolled up his sleeves and rushed into Grandpa's fast food restaurant. It's almost time. Yilin looked at the time on her watch. Yilin passed by a watch shop called Bida Quilai and grabbed it. I earned a little bit of guilt value by the way. I don't know if it's expensive or not, but it looks pretty good anyway. Yilin lowered the brim of his gentleman's hat, raised the corner of his mouth, and wore shiny black leather shoes. He looked like an elegant gentleman and walked into the Gotham police station in a swagger. The Gotham Police Department is in a state of chaos. Smoke billows. A bunch of shirtless old men, drinking cheap vodka, gathered in a circle, rolling dice and playing cards. It was a joyous scene. Yilin lowered his head and thought for 2 seconds. Make sure you are not in the wrong place. This is the police station. It's just that the painting style is a bit unique. Then I thought about it, this is the legendary Gotham, and I felt that it should be like this. There are relatively few people in the police station. This was also expected by Yilin. After Zuyunur, Suzayasu, and Li Erpang start taking action, they will definitely attract most of the police force. Today, the Gotham Police Department is at its most empty. Yilin silently gave 3 likes to her model worker teammates. 1 per person. As for Pangenji, Yilin noticed that his guilt value had not moved at all, so he was probably hiding somewhere to enjoy himself. Yilin didn't bother to pay so much attention. Next up, showtime. Showtime. Follow me like a shadow. Yilin directly turned on shadow follower and quietly walked into the police station. Under the effect of the shadow following skill, the sense of presence was reduced by 100%. Among the police officers who were immersed in joy, no one noticed Yilin's existence at all. Even if he noticed it, Yilin flashed past him in an instant. Some people even rubbed their eyes, thinking that they had drunk too much and had inexplicable hallucinations. It's just an illusion. The Gotham Police Department is much emptier than Yilin imagined. Originally, Yilin prepared 5 plans. How to infiltrate a police station. He even moistened his throat and prepared for a few rounds of disaster-ridden, but he didn't expect that the zero crime rate in the past 20 years had made the Gotham Police Department decay to an incredible level. Suddenly, Yilin thought of the riddle she had said. Would it be more appropriate to add the adjective rotten in front of the black and white behemoth? While thinking, Yilin quickly walked through the police station lobby, elegantly closed the door, and walked towards the duty room. Gotham City is indeed a city with simple folk customs. Even in the police station, a floor plan of the police station was carefully prepared in case of emergencies. Yilin arrived at the duty room without any hindrance. There was a chubby police officer inside, lying on the table and sleeping soundly, with saliva at the corner of his mouth. Yilin's eyes flashed. Blood. Jasmine turned over her hands and wiped her throat. Kill Gotham City's excellent police officers and get add 20 crime points. Get chaos value add 25. Excellent police officer? Yilin silently glanced at the fat police officer who didn't wake up until he died. Really excellent. Hang a wooden board on the wall. There are many keys nailed to the board. Archives room, interrogation room, dining hall, secret room, ordinary cells, special women's cells. Soon, Yilin's eyes were fixed on one of the keys. Get the arsenal key. Hee. This is, the sleeping fireworks. Huh? Gentleman of the riddle. James Gordon Jr., who was sitting in a police car chasing a fat evil criminal, couldn't help but be slightly startled when he heard the news. Riddle gentleman? The Riddler? Little James Gordon frowned, his face stern. Why did you just tell me? Hey, sir, we thought it was just a prank. Explain. On the other end of the phone, the 2 police officers stuttered and told the riddle left by the riddle gentleman to the odd Chief Gordon, word for word. There are 2 riddles in total. When day and night meet, I stand bravely in front of the black and white beasts. The black and white beasts have already devoured more disordered beasts in their belly. The beasts are gradually decaying into bones in the steel jungle. Magnificent fireworks are sleeping here, and I will use the most gorgeous fireworks to ignite Gotham and rekindle the first ray of light in the past. The elegant gentleman is ready to go and hurries to the black and white beast. The elegant gentleman is about to steal the sleeping fireworks and usher in a lively celebration for the deserted Gotham. At first glance, it does look like a prank. But after Gordon listened carefully, his pupils shrank suddenly. Although the style of this riddle is somewhat different from the riddle style of that person in my impression. But his intuition told James Gordon Jr. that this was definitely not a simple prank. He seemed to be able to read a playful smile between the lines through the mysterious puzzle. It's like an elegant criminal is declaring war on the entire Gotham City through this puzzle. When day and night meet. Black and white beast. Iron jungle. Fireworks. Gotham's old days. Celebration. Suddenly. Stop. 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 James Gordon Jr. slapped the front seat hard and asked the veteran driver in the driver's seat to stop the police car. Call out. A sudden break. Little James Gordon swayed slightly. He quickly hung up the phone and made a call as quickly as possible. And it's a video call. Soon, the call was answered. Dr. Jack. Dr. Jack's kind smile appeared on the video. James Gordon Jr. said nothing nonsense, his eyes were cold, and he went straight to the point. Where is Edward Nigma? Oh. Dear Chief Gordon, I happen to be in Edward's ward. The camera turned. Inside the room. Edward and Fat Goose are happily playing games. Then Edward chuckled. Fat Goose got angry and overturned the table. Very pleasant scenes of senior life. The camera turned around again. Dr. Jack asked with a smile, "Does Chief Gordon have anything to do with Edward?" Snapped. "Go back quickly. Gotham Police Department." The old driver in the front seat was stunned when he heard this, "But sir, that damn fat criminal hasn't." "Don't worry about that damn fat guy. Gentleman Riddle, his target is the Gotham Police Department. Although this riddle is very fancy. But James Gordon Jr. is already familiar with this routine. After removing all the confusing words and thinking about it, it is easy to come up with the answer. When day and night meet, it means dusk. There are only two black and white style buildings in Gotham City. One is the Gotham Police Department. The second is the renovated Eagle's Nest Club. But in the Iron Jungle, Gordon didn't notice it at first. But once associated with the police station, the jungle can be imagined as towering trees, and the steel jungle is clearly in the shape of the prison bars and windows. In other words, the riddle laid out by this riddle gentleman points out that a crime will be committed at the Gotham police station at dusk. No wonder there are so many weird criminals today. A flexible fat man. A young woman who uses strange cold weapons. There is also a strong man nearly 2 meters tall. It turns out it was all a conspiracy. It's all a trick used by the riddle gentleman to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Gotham's brave police chief James Gordon Jr. has seen through it all. His eyes flashed with a cold light. If someone were here, they might be able to tell from the coldness in their eyes that there was a hint of fire hidden behind the coldness. James Gordon Jr. after figuring it all out. He dialed the police station number in the shortest possible time. "I hope those damn scum aren't drunk." Duca. Gordon was stunned. Just connected, then disconnected? What happened? Click. Yulin silently cut the phone cord. Ah. The sound is quite crisp. Yulin looked down at the time again. If I guess correctly, the really smart people are already on their way back to the police station. After all, the riddles he wrote were not very complicated. And it's still in their base camp. No one would have guessed that this black and white beast refers to the landmark building Gotham Police Department. This is the tourist city Gotham, isn't it? The book Gotham City Travel Guide features a 580-degree close-up of the Gotham Police Department. Various angles, including aerial photography. If I guess correctly. Yulin took out a stick. As an elegant gentleman, how could he not live without this thing? After Yulin arranged everything, she walked slowly through the smoky lobby of the police station as she had come, and then left the police station. 10 minutes later. 1758. Little James Gordon came back in a hurry. When I saw that the Gotham police station was intact and there seemed to be no trouble, I was secretly relieved. Looks like I've caught up. Suddenly. Boom 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 boom. Without any warning at all, the continuous explosions started from inside the Gotham police station and suddenly turned into a bright fire, rising into the sky. The setting sun had not yet fully set, leaving only a line. The Gotham Police Department under the explosion was like the sun of another Gotham, reflecting the dazzling firelight in the dark night sky. A terrifying heat wave, centered on the Gotham Police Department, violently surged in all directions. Little James Gordon fell to the ground subconsciously. Behind him, the old driver and the police car were directly thrown away by the heat wave of the explosion. In the blink of an eye, the police car and the police car disappeared. Whirring whirring. Little James Gordon only felt a hot and sharp pain in his back. He could even smell the burning skin. Like barbecue. I don't know how much time passed. The sound of the explosion slowed down slightly. Little James Gordon got up from the ground with a blank expression. Looking at the Gotham police station that had turned into a sea of fire and shattered into ruins, A sentence suddenly came to my mind. I will use the most gorgeous fireworks to ignite Gotham and rekindle the first light of the past. This is. Light up Gotham's fireworks. Riddle gentleman. Little James Gordon roared out the name through gritted teeth. Right now. A surprised postman came to Little Gordon on a motorcycle. Is this Chief Gordon? Little James Gordon turned his head expressionlessly. Here is a letter from you. Letter. Chief Gordon's pupils shrank suddenly. On the envelope. There is no signature in the sender column. There is only one, question mark. It's the Riddle gentleman. Who sent it to you? James Gordon Jr. asked while opening the letter. It's a gentleman dressed as an aristocrat. He asked me to send a letter to Chief Gordon standing at the door of the Gotham police station at 1810 on time. By the way, the gentleman also said. The postman hesitated for a moment and decided to speak out. He said that if the person standing at the door was not Chief Gordon, there would be no need to send this letter. And what else? James Gordon Jr. had already taken out a card from the envelope. The gentleman first said that no matter what scene you see, don't panic, and you must send the letter to little James Gordon on time. Even if you see bright and beautiful fireworks. Just when Chief Gordon was about to look at the small card, the postman slowly stretched out his hand. Please pay $5. Dear Sheriff Gordon, this is a payable letter. The explosion is indeed a man's romance. Yelin stood in the distance, smiled slightly, and enjoyed the dazzling fireworks show the moment she pressed the button. Shortly after blowing up the Gotham police station, a string of text quickly filled his screen. In the name of Riddle gentleman, destroy Gotham's landmark Gotham Police Department and obtain a crime value of add 50,000. Kill Gotham City's excellent police officers and get add 19 crime points. Kill Gotham City's excellent police officers and get add 21 crime points. Kill Gotham City's alcoholic police officer and get add 12 crime points. Kill Gotham City's incompetent police officers and get add 5 crime points. Kill. Get chaos value. There is no chaos value gained from blowing up a police station. Others have gained a lot of chaos value. In just a short while, more than 300 chaos value was received. Really? It is not only a crime to kill people like Wushuan. After Yelin looked at the various stories of Batman and various villains falling in love and killing each other, he discovered that the villains who shrouded Gotham City in darkness were not how powerful they were or how many people they killed, but the horror of their name. Stern little Harry. Both virtue and art are good Joker. A two-faced man with firm beliefs. The law-abiding Pharaoh Penguin. In short, the group of villains who ran rampant in Gotham 20 years ago were able to turn Gotham into a city of sin not because of how many people they could kill casually, but because of their crazy criminal deeds. That's why Yelin decided to recreate a villain. An elegant and charming villain. A villain whose name is enough to put Gotham in fear. In this way, the scores can roll in. Right now. The question mark scepter in Yelin's hand lit up slightly. Pan Genji swaggered into the women's restroom. There was originally a yellow warning sign at the door of the women's restroom. It says, "It's under renovation, please don't let anyone in." Pan Genji kicked his foot and shouted, "I am, Genji." He just kicked down the sign and rushed in. Fortunately the women's restroom was empty. There was no bloody plot about a woman who didn't have time to put on her pants and screamed ah before rushing out. But just after Pan Genji broke into the women's room for no apparent reason, a prompt appeared in front of him. Because you entered the women's restroom shamelessly and intentionally, your crime value add 2. Pan Genji chuckled and ignored it. There is a mirror in the ladies' room. Very big mirror. There is a long crack from the upper left corner to the lower right corner of the mirror, as if the entire mirror is divided into 2 halves. Pan Genji looked in the mirror. The crack in the mirror seemed to split him in half, with completely different expressions. Suddenly, Pangenji lowered his head. There were buckets of fresh paint at my feet. It exudes a pungent smell. Yo. Pangenji's eyes flashed and he let out a strange smile. He slowly squatted down and took a handful from the bucket, his hands covered with paint of various colors. Pangenji just smeared it on his face randomly. Not enough, come again, not enough, come again. The edge of the paint bucket was sharp and Pangenji accidentally scratched his finger. Oozing bright red blood. Pangenji faced the cracked mirror. There was surprisingly silence for 10 seconds. 10 seconds later. Pangenji slowly smeared the blood on his fingers on his lips. Apply from the base of the left ear to the base of the right ear. It's a scarlet lip. Jajaja. Congratulations on completing the clown painting, the completion rate is 93%. Joker, he. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 113. James Gordon, Jr., quietly paid the price. $5. Slightly expensive. But that's not important. After shooing the mailman away with a wave of his hand, James Gordon Jr. turned over the new teaser card. Needless to say, it's that damn riddle gentleman again. He was almost certain that this mysterious riddle gentleman must be related to the former riddler. Whether it's his style of conduct or his mysterious riddles. But it seems to be a little different from the riddler. The riddle gentleman did not commit many crimes, so James Gordon Jr. could not explain why for a while. The teaser letter said a brand new puzzle. I will split the world in two, and I will welcome the midnight bell and walk towards the first ray of dawn in Gotham. A half-man, half-animal god has arrived, and I will twist off the god's horned head and use it to carry Gotham's second fireworks, igniting the torrent from winter to summer. Signing. Yours sincerely, the fiery riddle gentleman, Edward Ring. Little James Gordon's eyes were cold and he almost tore up the card in his hand in anger. He clenched the card tightly in his right hand. After the card became crumpled, James Gordon Jr. slowly straightened the cardboard card again. Fortunately, the card was of good quality, otherwise the handwriting would have been hard to read after just rubbing it. Sir. Phew, KKKK. Who blew up our Gotham Police Department? At this time, Gotham police officers who saw the explosion and flames drove their police cars back to the police station. When they saw the famous Gotham landmark of the past, the Gotham police station, which had been blown into ruins, their eyes widened in shock, and they could not recover for a long time. This was blown up. Okay, just say no and it will be gone? Gradually, dozens of Gotham police officers returned to the former Gotham Police Department. Snort. James Gordon Jr. checked the time. According to the notice letter, the crime should have been committed after midnight. It seems that the riddle gentleman is preparing something before committing the next crime. It is now more than 5 hours before midnight, which is midnight in the morning. There is plenty of time. Suddenly, a cold smile gradually appeared on the corner of little James Gordon's mouth. To be honest, Yilin is really not good at playing riddles. Things that can be said in one sentence have to be divided into several paragraphs, and it takes a lot of breath to finish, and even if you say it, others may not be able to understand it. In Yilin's opinion, this kind of behavior is a bit boring. But there was nothing Yilin could do. Who told Gotham City to like this tone in the book? It seems that the book Legend of the Riddler has become the third best-selling book in the bookstore series after Legend of the Joker and Legend of Harley Quinn. Night falls. The entire Gotham City is no longer as silent as it was at night. On the contrary, it became more and more lively. The sound of gunfire, the noise, the blast of cannon, the sound was sweet. It came from all over the city, coming from time to time, and almost never completely subsided. It seems that the others are working hard too. The whole city was ablaze with lights. A series of dazzling beams of light intertwined over the city, falling on the dark clouds above Gotham City, looking particularly stylish. Yulin wore a pure black gentleman's tuxedo and came slowly from the darkness. Night is his world. Especially now that he is wearing black clothes. When the shadow following skill is activated, no one can detect his existence as long as he hides in the darkness. At least, not until now. Tuck tuck tuck. This is the sound of the question mark scepter tapping gently on the bluestone. The smell of gunpowder smoke gradually filled the air throughout Gotham City. Come with the wind. Yulin held the brim of her hat and raised her head. In front of him was an ancient bell tower. Above the clock tower, the two huge hands moved with a certain rhythm. Yulin could even faintly distinguish the crisp sound of gears behind the clock tower. Yulin silently checked the Bidaquli watch in her hand. 2133. Plenty of time. A wicked smile suddenly appeared on Yulin's lips. Wrong. Yulin quickly changed her smile to another one, a calm one. Almost acted out. He suddenly thought of the best actor Lee Changa. This kind of weird Gotham City, if that guy were to play it, it would probably be more realistic. The Gotham Clock Tower is also an iconic building. 20 years ago, when villains were most rampant in Gotham City, it was said that the clock tower was blown up countless times by that group of people. After years of tinkering, the Gotham Clock Tower finally managed to survive the era of bombardment. The lock on the bell tower is already rusty. In Gotham City, a city with simple folk customs, no one has ever dared to take the risk of crime to break into the forbidden bell tower, so it seems that the lock has never been changed. A full 20 years. The renovated and repaired bell tower, after 20 years of rest and recuperation, finally has a bit more of a historic side feel. Yulin held the rusty lock and stared at it for a few seconds. Suddenly smiled. Hee. Then, he took out the blood jasmine, raised the knife with his hand, and cut the lock head directly. There is no difficulty at all. Inside the bell tower, there was no one. Of course. Some people call it weird. Of course, it's not necessarily surprising. Yulin took out a pen and paper from his pocket, the kind he had snatched back. There are no lights in the bell tower. Yulin was a little helpless, so she could only walk out of the bell tower door and silently wrote a small card. After I finished writing it, I read it 3 times from beginning to end and carefully blacked out the question marks at the back. I was finally satisfied. After making all preparations, Yulin started to step onto the bell tower. When we are about to reach the top of the bell tower, suddenly, Yulin paused in her steps. Think for a moment. To be on the safe side, I temporarily put away the question mark scepter and took out another card from the storage space. After crushing it, the grey card turned into a brand new black umbrella with a British style in Yulin's hands. Along the way, Yulin passed by the maintenance room of the bell tower. There are many complex and huge gears running inside. Driven by the clockwork, it makes a rhythmic sound. Walking further up, you reach the top of the bell tower. It was an empty rooftop. I don't know what kind of ghostly setting this bell tower was based on, but there was actually an empty platform above the bell tower. It is said that the structure was added by the designer himself during the last renovation. Is this because the villain doesn't run fast enough or gracefully enough? Although Yulin also felt that the setting was a bit strange. But if you think about it carefully, this is Gotham City, and it doesn't feel weird to refer to the short stories in those best-selling books. Gotham City is a city with simple folk customs. Maybe the designer who repaired the clock tower also created such a platform to facilitate the villain's escape from the clock tower. After all, in the history of Gotham City, too many stories have happened in Gotham Clock Tower. Looking down from the platform, although the entire Gotham City is technologically advanced, it still has a weird Gothic style everywhere. The tracks, trains, water pipes, thick smoke, and sewers give people a feeling of prosperity but depression. Choo 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 choo. Suddenly, on the street about 2 kilometers away from the clock tower, a large fire broke out. Boom. There are also grenades. Immediately afterwards, a round figure flew silently into the air. Then it fell back onto the street. Oh, it turns out to be Fatty. Yilin is sure. It seems that Li Erpang is still struggling hard. Click. At this moment, suddenly, the sound of a bullet being loaded came from behind Yilin. Riddle gentlemen, put your hands up. Yilin admired the unique night view of Gotham. Edward Rin. Hands up. Yilin turned around and smiled slightly. There was no surprise in his expression. The current Gotham Police Chief, James Gordon Jr., it's an honor to meet you. Yilin bowed slightly and performed standard gentlemanly etiquette to James Gordon Jr. in an elegant manner. Are you the Riddle gentleman? Little James Gordon held the gun steadily, pointing it at Yilin's head, his finger on the trigger. Although the light at the top of the clock tower was dim, he could tell through the interweaving beams of light over the city that Edward Lin, the self-proclaimed Riddle gentleman in front of him, looked so young. But what about that unhurried and leisurely attitude? James Gordon Jr. could clearly tell that there was no weapon in Yilin's hand. Except, a black umbrella. Etc. Umbrella. James Gordon Jr. suddenly remembered another name that resounded throughout Gotham 20 years ago. Penguin. His weapon is also a black umbrella. But, as we all know, the Penguin and the Riddler have a bad relationship. Even if the Riddler has a relationship with the former Riddler, there is no way he can get the umbrella from the Penguin. This could be a copycat crime. Chief Gordon had a guess in his mind. I've solved your riddle. Chief Gordon smiled coldly. You clumsy criminal, do you think you are really the Riddler? The crimes you have committed, according to Gotham City law, are enough to sentence you to death 10,000 times. As he spoke, Chief Gordon twitched his fingers slightly. Like pulling the trigger. Hee. In fact, Yilin already knew that someone had stepped onto the bell tower before him. According to the Gotham City Travel Guide, if the description of James Gordon Jr. is correct, it should be this person who solved the puzzle he set and came here beforehand. The lock showed signs of being opened. Interesting. This little James Gordon was very thoughtful. In order to prevent Yilin from discovering that someone was ambushing the bell tower, he actually asked others to lock the bell tower again after climbing to the bell tower, creating an illusion that no one had been there. Yilin's sudden laughter made little James Gordon's pupils shrink. Why are you laughing? Are you sure you solved my riddle? In the darkness, Yilin stared into little Gordon's eyes, sparkling like two stars in the darkness. At the stroke of midnight, doesn't it mean the bell tower? Your presence here is proof that I have solved the riddle. Yilin smiled slightly and gently rubbed the umbrella handle with her fingers. My riddle is more than just the sentence, isn't it? Besides, it's not midnight yet. Little Gordon was speechless, but soon he regained his composure and aimed his gun at Yilin. No matter what the answer to the riddle is, you, botched Gotham criminal, you are going to die here. Want to know the answer? Gordon was stunned. He nodded almost subconsciously. In the past few hours, he had almost racked his brains to think of the answer to this riddle. But except for the first two sentences, everything else made him feel confused. It's impossible to guess why. My heart felt hot and itchy. There is a feeling that if you don't know the answer to a riddle, you can't stop itching. Yilin seems to have already understood the psychology of Chief Gordon. Even if he is pointed at a gun, he will not move. Besides, Yilin's senses had already spread, so even if he had signs of shooting, Yilin didn't panic. There are preparation plans. Yulin's expression suddenly gave Chief Gordon the illusion that he was the one being pointed at by the gun. But, that's not important. He has the upper hand. He is the one with the gun now. No one can commit crime in Gotham. The criminal must die. This is his Gotham. And not anyone else's Gotham. Yulin laughed again. Here's a hint for you. James Gordon Jr. Yulin suddenly said loudly, the prompt is, let the world feel pain from now on. James Gordon Jr. In an instant, Yulin finished speaking. There seemed to be a loud bang in little James Gordon's head, his vision went dark, and he fell straight behind him. Boom. Flowers bloom in the back of the head. I don't know how much time passed. Little James Gordon opened his eyes again. The damn criminal is no longer in sight. He quickly got up from the ground and looked down from the top of the bell tower. Below the clock tower, police cars were surrounded. Caught? Or was he run away? Etc. From this clock tower, it is impossible for the Riddle gentleman to jump from here and survive unharmed, right? Even the famous Riddler 20 years ago would never be able to achieve this level. It's not the Batman who goes to heaven and earth. Thinking of the name he once had, little James Gordon's expression turned cold. Only then did he feel a sudden sharp pain in the back of his head. My head feels a little dizzy. Little Gordon stretched out his hand and touched it, and blood dripped from the back of his head. He gritted his teeth and ignored it. Suddenly, he found this small white card standing upright in the corner of the platform. Little Gordon didn't even care about the wound on his head. He picked up the small card and looked at it, and his eyes widened immediately. I saw only one line written on the card. Still a mystery. But this time, it is a well-known puzzle, and anyone who has read the best-selling book The Legend of the Riddler knows the answer. I exist in reality, I am absurd in reality, you can interpret me, you can create me, who am I? Signing. Friendly Gotham City neighbor, a warm reminder, yours truly, the Riddle gentleman Edward Rinn. James Gordon Jr. tore up the card with a deadpan expression. The card is quite stiff. It's a bit hard to tear. But the card still shattered. Flowing down from the top of the bell tower. Like fine snow. Lie. This is the answer. The answer everyone in Gotham knows. After all, it's too classic. It's all written in the book. James Gordon Jr. also read it when he was a child, and was obsessed with it for a while. Ahem, anyway, this is a warm reminder from the Riddle gentleman. Could it be that there was a lie hidden in the first puzzle? Is that why he came to the bell tower? Is he the one who was deceived? Just a poor imitator? What did the Riddle gentleman do just now? Why did I suddenly faint? Chief Gordon frowned, his face getting colder. There was a hint of hatred mixed in with it. But why didn't he kill me? Am I not worthy of his action? Hateful. A low growl came from Sheriff Gordon's mouth. But he did not forget his duty. He quickly walked down the bell tower, took out the flashlight from his waist, and carefully searched the inside of the entire bell tower. It is very possible that the Riddle gentleman is still in the bell tower and has not escaped. Sheriff Gordon won't let any possibility pass him by. No one noticed. In the dark night. The other side of the bell tower. A dark figure wearing a black tuxedo, a black gentleman's hat, and spotless white gloves, holding an umbrella in one hand, slowly fell from the air. Elegant and evil, that figure was like a nobleman dancing in the dark night. Night is his dance floor. It's a pity that there is no dance partner. Yulin landed smoothly on the ground and put away her umbrella. Not far away, piercing sirens continued, flashing red and blue lights. Yulin smiled slightly and continued to follow him like a shadow, hiding silently in the darkness. Sure enough, can't the riddle copied from the book be triggered? Yulin, who was gradually moving away from the bell tower, whispered in the darkness. But it's normal. Yulin had expected it a long time ago, but he just did a test on a whim. After turning another corner, Yulin suddenly felt his whole body sinking. In the upper right corner of the Apostle panel, a buff icon with wings suddenly disappeared. The time is just right. Ah no, there's a little more. It was indeed an accident that Yulin met little James Gordon tonight at the top of the bell tower, but it was not entirely an accident. The puzzle he set up was twofold. The most stupid one, and the second one hidden deep in lies. Yulin's original plan was to leave a card at the location pointed to by the first lie puzzle. If someone comes to the bell tower at midnight and sees the card deliberately left behind, it may add a bit of mystery and legend to the name Riddle Gentleman. Even if it's just a little bit, it's not a loss. As for what's written on the card? Is the Riddle Gentleman here for a visit? Do I want to be unable to cover my eyes again today? My riddle to your heart? None of this is important. Anyway, Yulin finally adopted Plan B. There were a total of 9 options from a 1 to a 9. The moment Yulin saw the rusty lock, she gave up on them all. Made a series of plans again. On the mental side, the mind just spins so fast and is so willful. Haha, now, a seed must have been planted in Chief Gordon's heart, right? Next, it's time for certain people to appear, right? Yulin knew that the journey to restore Gotham City's glory had just begun. Hiding in the dark, Yulin took out a handful of cards from the storage space. All in one hand. Like 13 cards in one hand. If you look carefully, they are all of the same color, ah no, the same pattern. Enhanced TNT bomb. Grade ordinary. Effect besides explosions, what else do you want to use it for? Explanation: well, explosions are the real art. Yulin looked at the hand of cards. Some headaches. Is the next one going to be a king bomb? Or king fried plus king fried plus king fried? This is Gotham City's arms accumulation accumulated from 20 years of zero crime. Suddenly. At this moment. The sky above Gotham City's head suddenly became brighter. As if controlled by someone, countless spotlights gathered in the center of Gotham City. All the beams of light converged together, as if they were waiting for the arrival of some kind of existence. Cough 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 cough. A cough echoed through the night sky from Gotham City's radio. Immediately afterwards, a figure appeared in the center of the light pillar. The figure was wearing a tight and ill-fitting purple suit, with a weird clown paint on his face, and the corners of his mouth looked a little weird and unpredictable against the paint. This is stereoscopic projection? Etc. Yulin suddenly frowned. This man seemed a bit familiar. Jajaja. Ladies and gentlemen, jajaja. The man in the suit suddenly let out a sharp and strange sound, with a bit of madness, and laughed. Accompanied by the Gotham City PA system, the laughter seemed extremely harsh. I, Joker, am back. Yulin was slightly startled. This voice. It's clearly Pangenji. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 114. The moment Joker appears. There was a moment of silence in the noisy Gotham. It is estimated that there is no one in Gotham who does not know the existence of Joker. That was the madman who brought fear to Gotham City as the King of Darkness 20 years ago. And he is also a very popular lunatic. Joker. How could it be him? That madman. Didn't he die with Batman 20 years ago? Etc. Discussions from all over Gotham City gathered together, almost overturning the clouds in the sky. Little James Gordon had just finished searching the clock tower and was standing under the clock tower, wondering where the Riddle Gentleman had gone, when he happened to witness the scene of the return of the clown. In an instant, his expression changed drastically. Impossible. The clown is dead. That year, Gordon Sr. witnessed the Joker's corpse with his own eyes. Impossible. 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 He screamed crazily in his heart. But the clown's shadow in the sky and his crazy posture are clearly the same as the original clown. Although James Gordon Jr. was still young 20 years ago, precious video materials are still preserved from his father, Gordon Sr. The scene where Batman once violently interrogated the Joker in the Gotham Police Department. In different parts of Gotham City. Burnley District. Everyone's attention was drawn to the image in the sky. Zuyuner hid in the dark. Look up at the sky. Although others did not recognize him, Zuyuner had heard Pangenji's laughter in Arkham Nursing Home and recognized Pangenji at a glance. What the hell is that guy doing? Suzayasu silently kicked a wall to pieces, also looking at the impact in the sky thoughtfully. At this time, Zuyuner turned her head and smiled sweetly at Suzayasu. Thank you, Sister Susu, if you hadn't saved me, I might have died long ago. Thinking back to the scene where gunfire suddenly broke out on the street during the day, she still couldn't help but feel a little frightened when she thought about it now. Fortunately. But because of this, I finally understand. Zuyuner suddenly smiled coldly and looked at herself. It turned out that she was seriously injured and her body was full of bullet holes. But now, all her injuries have healed, and even the bullet holes in her skin have returned to their original state. Her skin is fair and smooth, without leaving even a single scar. Naturally, the health value has also been restored to full value. Suzayasu's fighting power is indeed terrifying. He was actually able to rush out of the hail of bullets with her as a wounded person. This body of muscles, sure enough. Zuyuner silently opened the sin list and took a look. This look. Making her pupils shrink slightly. Sin list. Gotham's crime level 54845/1000000, 5.48%. Iron 51723, 5.17%. Zuyuner 1120, 0.11%. Li Erpang 912, 0.09%. Suzayasu 840, 0.08%. Pangenji 250, 0.02%. Zuyuner initially thought that she was recovering from a serious injury, had lost too much blood, and was a little dizzy. Could it be that there is an extra zero? But look closer. It turns out, it doesn't. It's really a crime value of more than 50,000. Did that guy violate the rules of heaven? How could he accumulate so many sin points in a short period of time? If human lives are deducted, this is equivalent to more than 5,000 human lives. Even if Zuyuner were to kill like wheat one by one, it would take most of the day. What's more, the citizens of Gotham City are not as easy to kill as imagined. Zuyuner has experienced this personally. Deeply touched. Wait, do you mean? Zuyuner frowned. I thought for a few minutes. Suddenly, the frown relaxed. Crime doesn't necessarily mean murder. He was one step ahead. Humph, are you the only one who can commit a crime? Sister Susu, let's go. We can't lose to that guy. Don't forget, in the nursing home, he was helping Panjustice, stole our youth potion. Unexpectedly, Zuyuner would hold a grudge against a small matter until now. But it was Pangenji's fault, and Zuyuner accidentally put the pot on Yilin's head. Zuyuner's eyes shone with a cold light that showed no anger and self-respect. At that moment, she was walking on the road with a bit of power, like an emperor on a patrol. In the Dragon Kingdom, no one can offend the Zhu family. What's more, he's just a nobody. Call. The fat man held a large bag of fragrant fried chicken legs in one hand and ran on the dark road. He turned his head and glanced at Pangenji in the sky. Although he was shocked, he quickly calmed down. Isn't it just cosplay, who can't do it? But that guy's costume is quite realistic, fatty, I almost thought it was a clown reality show. Could this guy be a senior two-spined ape? The fat man devoured a large bag of fried chicken legs like a gulp. Li Erpang patted his bulging belly. He was full of food and drink, and had plenty of fat. He finally had a sense of security. The entire Gotham City fell into a brief confusion because of the return of the Joker. Li Erpang finally escaped from the pursuit of good citizens for the time being. Taking advantage of the night, he smashed the window of one of the houses with his palm and hid inside to rest for a while. Today, 70% to 80% of the citizens of Gotham City are outside, carrying guns and wandering around. As the old saying goes, the most dangerous place is the safest place. Now that the fat man was out of sight of the citizens and hiding in the house, he had a chance to breathe. Li Erpang rested for a while. Then I opened the sin list and took a look. His eyes widened in an instant. Although it couldn't be seen from the outside, his eyes did widen a little. A little bit. Squinting eyes was a family trait, and he was helpless. He suddenly remembered the reminder he received after robbing the grandpa's fast food restaurant. In other words, besides robbery, are there any other ways to accumulate sin points more quickly? Thinking of this, Li Erpang gritted his teeth and sent a series of messages to Yilin. But was automatically replied, "The apostle is busy, please do not disturb." Li Erpang didn't have much culture, so he could only shout F***ck to show his mood. Yilin is not very kind. We agreed to form a team. We agreed to fly together. Just leave the fat man secretly in the park and ignore him. The fat man is rough and doesn't care. He has a way to increase his points, but he doesn't call him. At least send me a message. We promised to grow old together, but you secretly baked it? But Li Erpang only complained with his mouth and heart. After going through several trials in the other world and reaching this level, he is not that naive. Yilin was able to give him a youth potion in the nursing home, which already made Li Erpang sigh that there are still good people among the apostles. After all, in the mission, the relationship between the apostles is complicated. Even in team tasks, there is a secret rivalry. No one admits defeat. It's time to burn incense if you can avoid going to the pit of death. Everyone wants to get a higher clearance rating. In this case. Li Erpang silently made up his mind. At the same time, Gotham City sky. The Joker is still laughing wildly. Laughing maniacally. Ja. Laughter means nothing. There are no lines either. But it was this crazy laughter that seemed to cast a shadow over Gotham City. No one knows. At the same time, the top floor of Wayne Tower. Wayne Tower is Gotham City's most famous landmark. It is also the tallest building. In fact, with today's technological level, it is not impossible for Gotham City to build taller and more spectacular buildings than the Wayne Tower. But don't dare. Because, as we all know, Bruce Wayne is the richest in Gotham City. No one dares to try the supreme power of money ability. This room on the top floor of Wayne Tower is surrounded by transparent glass on 3 sides. In the room, there is a spacious round bed. An old man with gray hair and an upright back suddenly opened his eyes and sat up from the bed. Beside the old man, there was a hot young woman, wrapped around the old man like an octopus. The moment the old man sat up, in the darkness, the woman's expression became even more flushed. She got under the quilt and squirmed silently. The old man looked out the window. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. The huge clown shadow suddenly turned its head. As if through the transparent glass on the top floor of Wayne Tower, behind the hideous clown paint, a pair of chaotic eyes looked at the white-haired old man on the bed. There was a strange sound coming from under the quilt. The girl vaguely called out the old man's name. Bruce Wayne. His name. The corners of Bruce Wayne's mouth curled up slightly. Don't know what it means. Doin'. Suddenly, There was a loud bang from the radio in Gotham. It looked like something had been smashed. Sizzling. The clown shadow in the sky suddenly became distorted and blurred. Quick! It's that pervert. How dare you rob GBC Broadcasting Company? Crap, hum him to death. Looking for shit. Choo 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 choo. Continuous gunfire sounded. The figure of the clown is in the sky, scurrying away with his head in his arms. Outside of broadcasting, the entire Gotham City once again fell into an eerie silence. Bruce Wayne. Gotham. Lee Erpang. Gordon and his son. Dr. Jack. Zuyuner and Suzayasu. Yulin, haha, it really is that guy's style. Gotham City. Late at night. Tonight is like a celebration. Everyone is destined to have sleepless nights. Ignore that clown. Little James Gordon smiled coldly. He still has the teaser letter from the Riddle gentleman. If the first two sentences are lies, then the following sentences may be information that foreshadows the time and place of the real crime. I will split the world in two, and I will welcome the midnight bell and walk towards the first ray of dawn in Gotham. A half-man, half-animal god has arrived, and I will twist off the god's horned head and use it to carry Gotham's second fireworks, igniting the torrent from winter to summer. Signing. Yours sincerely, the fiery Riddle gentleman, Edward Rynn. What exactly does that mean? Little James Gordon felt a pain in his forehead. Not just in the back of the head. It must be that he was thinking too much and touched the wound on the back of his head. James Gordon Jr. always felt that the tone of the Riddle gentleman in this riddle was a bit strange. But for a while, he couldn't tell what was wrong. There's always something strange about it. He discovered that the young Riddler gentleman was different from the Riddler 20 years ago. The Riddler from 20 years ago was wise but crazy. So the feeling that this Riddle gentleman gave him was indeed extremely calm and rational, as if everything was within his grasp. In comparison, the Riddler is more difficult to deal with than the Riddler. Several incidents in which Batman defeated the Riddler were documented in the best-selling book The Legend of the Riddler. In addition to Batman's wisdom, the Riddler's several defeats were entirely due to Batman's aggressive tactics. It was only in anger that the flaw was revealed. The Riddler's weaknesses are obvious, his intelligence cannot be discounted. Although the Riddler from 20 years ago was also terrifying, he was also an adversary who relied on tricks. Batman Legends also summarizes a lot of experience in dealing with the Riddler. But James Gordon Jr. discovered that his experience in dealing with the Riddler could not be applied to the Riddle gentleman at all. Little James Gordon glanced at his watch silently. The time is 23:35. Etc. Midnight is coming. Commissioner Gordon, who was frantically searching for the Riddle gentleman in Gotham City, unknowingly spent so much time. That damn fat man and the other two weird female criminals had already been forgotten by Chief Gordon at this moment. Fake clown? Don't even pay attention to it at all. All he could think about at the moment was that damn puzzle. And the elegant but terrifying Riddle gentleman. Time is running out. Little James Gordon suddenly gritted his teeth and dialed a number on his mobile phone. Soon, the call was connected. There was silence on the other end of the phone. But James Gordon Jr. shouted. Dad. 2340. The top floor of Wayne Tower. It's still the same room. The bathroom light is on. The translucent glass reveals a beautiful back figure, with flesh hidden and flesh exposed. Bruce Wayne shook the red wine glass gracefully and sipped the expensive red wine in the glass with a satisfied expression. The night is so beautiful, no matter how dangerous it is, there are always people staying up all night with dark eyes. But it's actually not very expensive. Just Lafite in 1869. Actually the taste is just average. It's just that Bruce couldn't find a better wine. There is no choice but to make do. Bruce Wayne decided to drink half and use the remaining half to rinse his mouth. It can never be wasted. At this moment, the cell phone vibrated silently on the bedside table of the round bed. Bruce Wayne has never used a cell phone ringtone in his life, it all vibrates. No special reason, I'm used to it. A bat pattern flashed across the phone screen. Bruce frowned slightly. He glanced back in the direction of the bathroom. The girl inside was still humming, it was quite pleasant. Bruce silently walked to the floor bed, overlooking Gotham City, which was once again in chaos, and answered the phone. Old boy. When Bruce answered the phone, he couldn't help but smile. There was only one person in Gotham who would use this number to contact him. Trouble? You know, I have retired for a long time. There is no need for masked knights flying in the darkness in Gotham now. Bruce smiled to himself and made a joke. Wait, Riddle. Is it the Riddler? Wait, what did you say? The Riddler? Very young. Bruce Wayne's cloudy eyes lit up slightly. Interesting. Damn it. James Gordon Jr. hung up the phone with a gloomy expression. Sir, what's wrong? It's the Aparo Highway. That damn Riddle gentleman is going to blow up the Aparo Highway at 00:22. When the surrounding Gotham police officers heard this, they all looked confused. Although their IQs are not high, they also participated in solving puzzles with the mentality of everyone adds fuel to the fire. No time to explain. Let's go. Get in the car. Without saying a word, little James Gordon got into the police car and planned to race the car himself. But sir, it takes at least an hour to get to the Aparo Highway from here, and we only have 40 minutes left before 24:22. If there is a traffic jam closed to traffic from here to the Aparo Highway. Now. Get everyone moving. But sir, speeding is a crime. We are using the fastest speed to eliminate criminals. This is not called speeding. James Gordon Jr. stepped on the accelerator to the bottom. The tachometer instantly reached 5,000 RPM. 2 columns of black smoke spewed out from the exhaust pipe of the police car, and the police car rushed out with a roar. Only then did the other police officers react and drove to follow. James Gordon Jr. directly reached a speed of 160 km per hour. This is not speeding. While racing like crazy, his father's words still echoed in his mind. He originally just wanted to give it a try and asked for help from the previous Gotham sheriff, James Gordon. That is old Gordon. He is also the current mayor of Gotham City. Unexpectedly, within a few minutes, his father actually solved the answer to the puzzle. My dad is truly worthy of being my dad. When he knew the answer, little James Gordon suddenly realized that the answer to the puzzle was so simple. The first 2 sentences, dividing the world into 2 and facing the midnight bell, actually refer to time. Divide the 24 hours in a day into 2 parts, starting from midnight, which is 0 o'clock. Stepping towards the first ray of light in Gotham can also be regarded as a supplementary reminder to the previous 2 sentences. And the second part, the arrival of a half-man, half-animal god, actually refers to the constellation Capricorn among the 12 constellations. Because in legend, Capricorn is a half-human, half-animal god with goat horns. The corresponding dates for Capricorn are December 22nd to January 19th. The corresponding time is, after midnight, 24:22 to 1:19. And the meaning of I will twist off the god's head with ram's horns is very clear. The crime time indicated by the Riddle gentleman is -24:22. The second fireworks alludes to the criminal method that the Riddle gentleman is about to use, explosion. The same fate as Gotham PD. And the last sentence was what made little James Gordon feel weird. To describe cold winter, the Riddle gentleman used the word heavy, and in the final signature, the word hot was used. Heavy is mostly used to describe snow, but it was used by the Riddle gentleman to describe winter. No wonder James Gordon Jr. thought this grammar was a bit strange. I feel like riddle gentleman Yazzie is not very good at English. Turn out to be. It's not that the riddle gentleman is not good at English, it's that he has other things going on. Another meaning of heavy is that it refers to traffic jams. The word hot, in addition to meaning hot, is also often used to describe a girl's hot figure. As for summer and hot, people immediately think of the same place. That's it, Miller Harbor Beach. The whole sentence combined, really refers to only one place, the most congested traffic passing by Miller Harbor Beach. That is Aparo Highway. Why do you think so? Because it is clearly written in the Gotham City Travel Guide. Yo! Summer is here. Welcome to the simple folk customs of Gotham City. At Port Miller Beach, there are blue skies, white clouds, and hot bikini girls. Actions are not as good as heartbeats, and actions are not as good as birds. What are you waiting for? Yo trouble sec. That damn riddle gentleman is definitely very familiar with Gotham City's tourism industry, bastard. It's not summer now. Could it be that that damn guy had already visited Gotham City in the summer? Did you take a look at the hot bikini girls? But a confident sneer curled up the corners of James Gordon Jr.'s lips. The riddle gentleman underestimated his driving skills. 40 minutes is enough for him to arrive at Port Miller. He has seen through the truth. There is only one truth to the puzzle. The riddle gentleman will detonate the Aparo Highway in Miller Harbor at 24:22. That's a viaduct. Go, go, go. Little James Gordon gallops wildly. Behind his police car was a large motorcade that was also speeding wildly. So vast. In order to write this brain-burning and interesting copy of Gotham City, the author has lost a bunch of hair. Readers, don't you think it's okay? Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Xueshi. Chapter 115. Blasting is indeed a sophisticated art. It has to be perfect, exciting, and dazzling, but also logical. It's quite difficult. It wasn't until Yilin took action herself that she felt a headache. Fortunately, the Gotham Police Department has sufficient stocks of TNT bombs, so there is no such thing as saving or not. Just blow it up a few times and you're done. The Aparo Highway is a viaduct that crosses Port Miller. Although the traffic flow on this bridge has been significantly reduced because Li Erpang and others are messing around in Gotham City, it can be roughly seen that it should be relatively congested at ordinary times. Because there are many car prints on the bridge. Sun marks left by vehicles parked for long periods of time. This is quite exaggerated. Yilin carefully counted the remaining bombs in his hand. Ah no, TNT bombs. By the way, I briefly reviewed the location to be bombed next. Well, that's all. Yilin used psychokinesis to attach the last TNT bomb to the bottom of the bridge near the bridge pillar. Although Yilin is not a professional explosion expert, as long as such an explosion occurs, no matter how strong the bridge is, it cannot withstand it. Furthermore, Yilin's purpose is not really to smash this viaduct to pieces. It's just to complete a crime. Fortunately, TNT bomb is a card-based prop and does not have a very complicated usage process. Just stick it on, just like setting an alarm clock, set the time and it will explode on time. Moreover, there is also the use of remote control explosion. After making all preparations, Yilin looked down at the time. 0012. Still, 10 minutes. About there. Yilin lowered the brim of his hat and walked toward one end of the viaduct as if taking a leisurely stroll without anyone noticing. A gentleman with charming and elegant manners walks forward in the dark night. 0014. In the dark night. The roar of an engine could be heard faintly in the distance. Accompanied by the roar of the engine, there was also the dazzling red and blue light that kept flashing. In the distance, it looks like a basket of two red stars, which are extremely dazzling. Yiren has reached the end of the Aparo Highway. He squinted and stared along the road, his expression slightly moved. The puzzle has been solved. Ha, it's getting more and more interesting. Yulin quickly came to a conclusion. Only. Yulin took out a gray card from the storage space. Keep it close to your body in your tuxedo pocket. At the end of the road, a line of police cars roared towards us. Getting closer. 3 kilometers. 2 kilometers. 1.8 kilometers. 1.5 kilometers. Very close, very close. Getting closer. This car is quite fast. It was clear that he was speeding. It seems that Chief Gordon is also an old double-standard dog. Yulin stood there. One person blocked the entrance to the Aparo highway, blocking the path of police car traffic. 0016. James Gordon Jr. is racing like crazy. He could already vaguely see the silent bridge not far away. Because the criminals in Gotham City were raging tonight, it seemed that Gotham City had been completely rekindled, and the suburbs near Millersport had become desolate. Tonight is the most serious crime that has occurred in Gotham City since the battle between Batman and the Joker 20 years ago. Damn Riddle gentlemen. Hurry up. Go, go, go. James Gordon Jr. hits the gas pedal. It's like I can't wait to step on the accelerator. But it's still not fast enough. That's too late. There are only a few minutes left. Even if he managed to reach the Aparo highway, there wouldn't be enough time to defuse the bomb. That's too late. Grass. Suddenly, little James Gordon saw a figure standing quietly in front of him in the range of the high beam. An elegant figure. A man wearing a black gentleman's hat and a pure black tuxedo, holding a dark umbrella in his hand, stood quietly at the end of the road. It's like. Wait for them to come. It's the Riddle gentleman. James Gordon Jr. perked up instantly. Even if the explosion on the Aparo highway cannot be prevented, as long as the criminals can be punished, it is not a loss. Bridges that have been bombed can be rebuilt. People can be reborn after death, but as long as criminals are still in Gotham, Gotham will no longer be that perfect city with zero crime rate. This is his Gotham. Little James Gordon frantically stepped on the accelerator, blinded the opponent with his high beams, and planned to run the Riddle gentleman to death with his car. The speed is very fast. The speedometer has reached 170 kilometers per hour and is about to explode. Go, go, go. 1 kilometer. 500 meters. 100 meters. The Riddle gentleman has no action. A crazy sneer curled up the corner of James Gordon Jr.'s lips. He could even imagine the moment when the other party was hit by the police car, his internal organs suddenly squeezed into a ball, and even spit out from his mouth. Maybe the scene will be a little disgusting? Liver, intestines, kidneys, heart, lungs. It was smashed into pieces, and then forcefully squeezed out from the upper and lower openings. Ah, the picture is so brutal. Boom. Boom. Just when little James Gordon was daydreaming about the 360 ways that damn Riddle gentleman could die, there was a sudden violent vibration under the buttocks. Along with it comes a wave of heat. The scenery in front of me suddenly became dizzy. Even people and cars were spinning wildly, as if they were spiraling into the sky. James Gordon Jr. Who I am? Where am I? What am I doing? Why do cars fly? Could it be that the speed of the car is too fast? Can it really take off on the spot? Yulin expressionlessly pressed the explosion button. Enhanced TNT bombs can be used for more than just timed blasting. Although he initially believed that with James Gordon Jr.'s IQ, there was an 85% chance that he would not be able to guess the time and place where he actually committed the crime through the puzzle. But to be on the safe side, he still had a backup plan. The moment the blast button is pressed, James Gordon Jr.'s police car took off directly from the spot. Under the action of the law of inertia, it directly changed its flight direction and flew dozens of meters away. Gililoo. It rolled many times in the distance, and then billows of smoke came out. This time, the bomb that was laid in advance directly blocked the only route from downtown Gotham to the Aparo Highway. Yilin looked down at the time. Roads were blocked and a fleet of speeding police cars was forced to brake in front of the raging fire. Quick! Where's Chief Gordon? There was an explosion. Amidst a burst of messy footsteps, dozens of Gotham police officers swarmed forward, and they soon saw the dark figure in the darkness. 100 meters away. That's Riddle Gentleman. Don't move. Hands up. Edward Wren. Raise your legs. Do you want me to go, whore? Shoot. After being prompted, others reacted. Facing Gotham's criminals, what they need is not arrest, but kill them on the spot. Bang 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 bang. The standard pistol was spitting out tongues of flame crazily in the darkness, it was so dazzling. In an instant, Yilin's eyes were shrouded in smoke and light. But before they shot, Yilin opened the umbrella without any delay. The other hand crushed an unknown card in his pocket. I saw him standing in front of him with an umbrella, and all the bullets strangely landed in the air. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Chee-chee-chee-chee. In an instant, countless bullet holes were left around Yilin's feet and behind her. After one round of shooting, the dozens of Gotham police officers emptied a magazine, and they didn't suddenly react until the pistol made a clicking sound of empty chamber. Out of bullets. Where's the Riddle Gentleman? Even 100 meters is a bit far. Even if their marksmanship is a bit poor. But under such intensive firepower, he believed that no one could survive. Together they fired hundreds of bullets. Even a few hits are enough for the Riddle Gentleman. Etc. Oh, cake seller, I think it must be the vodka that got me drunk dash. Why the hell did you use an umbrella to block the bullet? I must be dreaming. One police officer even foolishly pinched the butt of a female police officer next to him. Plump and fleshy. The feel is acceptable. The policewoman ouched shyly and closed her legs. Ah, it turned out I was not dreaming. Yilin held up a dark umbrella. Looking at the group of Gotham City police officers from a distance. Behind them was a raging fire. In front of them by the firelight was a strange and elegant gentleman. Not to mention the hundreds of bullets that landed on the Riddle Gentleman, not even a single hole was left in the broken umbrella. Where are the bullets? Where are the bullets? Where are the bullets? Their hands are not watery toys. That's a real gun. Suddenly. Right in front of everyone. That damn, elegant, charming Riddle Gentleman. In front of everyone, he looked down at his watch. That leisurely movement caused the policemen to lose their concentration for a few seconds and forget to switch magazines. The scene fell into a strange silence. At this moment, the hateful yet charming criminal, the Riddle Gentleman, Edward Lynn, suddenly raised his head, looked away from his watch, and smiled. Edward Lynn slowly stretched out a slap. Those spotless pure white gloves were as dazzling as Li Chang in the dark night. In front of everyone, Edward Lynn's pure white palm retracted one finger. 5 fingers turned into 4. Suddenly someone reacted. This seems to be counting down. 4. Someone among the police said it subconsciously. Yilin smiled slightly and put down another finger. 3. 2. 1. Yilin suddenly lowered the brim of his hat. Happy holidays. Boom. At the moment the countdown ends, the land suddenly shook violently. The source of vibration is the viaduct. The police officers raised their heads in shock, looking at the dazzling fire rising into the sky not far away. Amidst the explosion, the fire was like fireworks igniting the night sky of Gotham City, completely reflecting the dark clouds over Gotham City red, like the sunset. Rumble, rumble. In the horrific fire, the entire spectacular viaduct exploded violently from different piers at the same time. In the blink of an eye, the Aparo Expressway, one of Gotham City's famous tourist landmarks, collapsed. In the blink of an eye, only a few bare steel bars of the Aparo Viaduct were left hanging in the air, and the bridge had already turned into countless rubbles, falling into the Port Miller Bay, causing waves of turbulent waves. The Gotham City police officers looked at the spectacular scene in front of them, which was simply more exciting than any disaster movie. After all, you are there. Everyone was stunned, and it wasn't until the firelight in front of them gradually dimmed that someone finally reacted. Shit. Where's the damn Riddle gentleman? And where the dark figure stood? Is there anyone else there? Where are the gentlemen? The police officers quickly changed their magazines and rushed towards the place where the Riddle gentleman was standing not long ago. There, only bullet holes were left on the ground. Empty. In place, only a group of Gotham City's excellent police officers were left, looking at each other in bewilderment. Huh? By the way, where is Chief Gordon? Suddenly, someone reacted. It seems that their respected Gotham City Sheriff, James Gordon Jr., who is skilled in driving and is driving at the front, is missing. A light flashed in Yilin's hand. He silently put a ball into the storage space. In the upper right corner of the Apostle panel, a buff that looked like a polyline icon disappeared instantly. The time is just right again. After everyone was attracted by the explosion on the Aparo Highway, Yilin skillfully used a black umbrella to cover everyone's sight, activated Shadow Follower to dive into the darkness again, and became one with the shadow. Now he has already mastered this skill. Both the timing and technique of skill release are extremely skillful. After all, this is his most commonly used skill. They are all veteran drivers. Needless to say. In the distance, the shaking from Miller Harbor gradually subsided, and the fire began to dim. Yilin wandered into the shadows again and left the place as quickly as possible. Originally, he borrowed a car and drove to Aparo Highway. But with this explosion of artistry, it's probably very difficult to return that car. As a result, the elegant and charming Riddle gentleman added another touch to his criminal record. Steal a car. However, this is not important. As sinful as mosquito legs. Yilin doesn't even bother to look now. In the name of Riddle gentleman, destroy Gotham's famous building Apollo Highway and obtain a crime value of add 60,000. There were also a bunch of chaos points and sin points. Yilin took a cursory glance at them but did not count them in detail. The total amount of sin points can be reflected on the sin list. As for the chaos value, although it is very important to Yilin, in this trial, the value of human life is too weak, so Yilin can only use it casually. He can't massacre the entire Gotham City just to increase the chaos value. Let's not talk about whether it can be done, the price/performance ratio is too low. It's better to concentrate on conquering the trials and get the highest clearance rating, that's the way to go. Attributes are the foundation of an apostle. The power of almost all skills is based on attributes to achieve the most perfect effect. Yilin suddenly raised his head. Looking at the tallest building in Gotham City. That's Wayne Tower. It has a flashing red neon W icon. It's big and conspicuous. Especially at night, it's really conspicuous. Half an hour later, an ambulance from Gotham City General Hospital finally arrived on the scene. And the fire brigade. When they finally pulled poor little James Gordon out of the nearly scrapped police car, little James Gordon had already passed out. After the doctor's examination, the other police officers finally breathed a sigh of relief. The cause of the coma is most likely a concussion, but whether there is intracranial damage or not will not be determined until he is sent to Gotham General Hospital for a CT examination. Other heartbeat, pulse, respiration, and vital signs were stable. Suddenly, the unconscious little James Gordon closed his eyes tightly and cursed vaguely through gritted teeth. Damn riddle gentleman. On the list of sins. Even without looking, Yilin knew that her guilt value was at the top of the list, far ahead. Next. Yilin found a comfortable place. There was no intention to continue committing crimes. Tonight, let's do this for now. He sensed something was not quite right. Find a place to take a good stroll. Moreover, James Gordon Jr. is probably injured now. Without an audience, the performance of the riddle gentleman will be greatly reduced. For the rest of the night, let Li Erpang and the others mess around. By the way, divert the attention of the police. After all, a trial is not a trial for one person. If the limelight is too loud and completely overshadows other people, something may happen. It's also good to be prudent. Before going to bed, Yilin took out the blood jasmine and took a look at the experience value column. With the thought in his mind, he summoned Bai Xiaoai. The moment Bai Xiaoai appeared, before he could flatter the master a few times, Yilin said dryly. Xiao Bai, come and watch the night. Why do you always order others around? Bai Xiaoai pouted angrily, feeling a little unhappy. Why don't you call Nai Hongxiu? This is not partiality. Who is partial? Snored. One day I want to make you look good. Bai Xiaoai stared at Yilin's face that gradually became quieter, silent. Bai Xiaoai didn't take the initiative to return to the spirit-enchanted weapon until the spiritual energy value was almost exhausted. A night of silence. The second day after arriving in Gotham City. Yilin opened her eyes on time. After he committed another crime of trespassing into a private house last night, his crime value was at 5 before going to bed. It seems like this is also a capital offense in Gotham. The owner of this house did not return home all night, and it is not known whether he died in the turmoil last night. I don't know what's going on with those guys. Yilin washed his face slowly and searched the house for some brand new towels and toothbrushes. After washing, he found some frozen food from the refrigerator, heated it in the microwave, then sat at the dining table and waited while turning on the TV. Surprise! A mysterious criminal disguised as Joker broke into the GBC radio station and committed a robbery. The crime is unforgivable. Unfortunately, he failed to kill the criminal in the end and let him escape. Shocked. Shocked. A nimble, obese criminal actually had the audacity to rob the chain fast food restaurant Ken Lai, causing panic among the general public. Terrible. A humanoid tank suddenly appeared in Burnley. It is suspected to be the latest experimental product of STAR Labs. However, the Star Research Institute strongly denies it. What is the truth? Our GBC broadcasting company will conduct the next follow-up report for you. A mysterious Oriental man robbed a gas station with strange weapons. Headlines. Headlines. The riddle gentleman Edward Lin appeared out of nowhere, destroying the Gotham Police Department and the Aparo Expressway overnight. Crime Busters Chief Gordon is said to have suddenly exploded in the early morning because of the appearance of the riddle gentleman. He suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and was admitted to the intensive care unit of Gotham General Hospital. Headline. Headline. Gotham, a simple city with zero crime rate, has many criminals appear overnight. Is this a loss of morality or a distortion of human nature? When Chief Gordon wakes up, our GBC broadcasting company will be the first to report interview Chief Gordon and make the next follow-up report for you. This morning, the richest man in Gotham City, Bruce Wayne, publicly stated that if he were Batman, Bruce Wayne would not hesitate to join in the annihilation of criminals. This may be the biggest joke in Gotham City in the past 20 years. But because of Bruce Wayne's joke, Wayne Enterprises' stock price rose by 13%. The market value of Wayne Enterprises soared by more than $1 billion overnight. His money-making ability is terrible. Krez Beverage Co., Limited plans to hold a press conference this morning to announce the latest happy drink. Ding. Yiren turned off the TV. Because breakfast is already hot. When Yulin was about to open the sin list, she suddenly remembered that she had set a do not disturb function for a certain fat man last night. After thinking about it, Yulin couldn't do anything too harshly, so Yulin turned off the do not disturb status. Not long after Yulin finished setting the status, Li Erpang's profile picture began to vibrate crazily. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 116. Yulin was eating breakfast happily while chatting with Li Erpang in the Apostle's unique way. Yulin, morning. Li Erpang, good morning, sister. Yulin, where? Li Erpang. Yulin, aren't you looking for me? Li Erpang, surprised. How do you know? Yulin, haha. Li Erpang. Yulin, forget it. After breakfast, I'm going to collect points. I'm busy. Come on. Li Erpang, damn it. Come on, sister. Wait, don't set up do not disturb first. 9 o'clock. See you at the door of Arkham Nursing Home. The kind that never leaves? Yulin simply replied received and then turned off the communication function. Continued to eat breakfast. 10 minutes later. After eating and drinking, Yulin felt refreshed. A pleasant and elegant day is about to begin. Yulin closed her eyes and thought for a moment, and then couldn't help but curl her lips. Little fat man, do you have a lot of question marks? When Yulin walked slowly from the bridge wearing a black tuxedo, a gentleman's hat, and a brand new black umbrella in his hand, Li Erpang's eyes suddenly widened at the door of the nursing home. This is so cool. Li Erpang decided to score 82 points. With 18 points left, Li Erpang decided to make up for it with 666. Yulin looked down at the time. The time is just right. Not early and not late. 3 people were already standing at the door of the nursing home. In addition to Li Erpang, who asked Yulin to come here, Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu were also there. The 3 of them stood at the door of the nursing home with different expressions, staring at Yulin who was full of personality. Riddle gentleman? Edward Rin. Li Erpang probably saw the morning news headlines in some way. After the shock, he asked in a sour tone. He. Yulin ignored Li Erpang for the time being. Instead, she adjusted the brim of her hat and looked at Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu calmly. In fact, when Li Erpang took the initiative to contact him, he guessed that there was a half chance that Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu would be here. As for Pan Zhenji, if you can't guess clearly, just don't guess. The current ranking of the sin list is as follows. Sin list. Gotham's crime level 128000/1000000, 12.8%. Ilan 114235, 11.42%. Li Erpang 5350, 0.53%. Suzayasu 4330, 0.43%. Zhu Yuner 3830, 0.38%. Pan Zhenji 255, 0.02%. Although except for Pan Zhenji, who has increased from 250 to 255, the sin points of everyone else have increased a lot. But it's obvious that Yulin is far ahead on the list of sins, and she's the best. If everyone else is just making small fuss in Gotham City, Yulin's crimes are described as breaking the law of heaven and committing heinous crimes. Although there is no wanted notice for Yulin yet, if Yulin ran to the street and shouted something like "I am Edward Rin, gentleman of the riddle," he would probably be instantly overwhelmed by all kinds of grenades, bullets, and shells. Gotham City, a city with simple folk customs, is no joke. This is a dangerous city where firearms can be legally owned. Although Gotham City has become a lot more peaceful with the retirement of famous villains in the past 20 years, its danger has not diminished. On the contrary, it has risen to an unprecedented and terrifying level. If you think about it carefully, it's not difficult to explain. What would be the reaction of an old virgin who has been holding back for 20 years and suddenly meets a hot girl? Not to mention the hundreds of thousands of old virgins living in Gotham City. Ahem, in other words, Yulin is now going further and further down the road of criminals, leaving others far behind. Li Erpang, Suzayasu, and Zhu Yuner felt threatened and couldn't help but unite. Seeing Yulin's eyes falling on Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu, Li Erpang twitched the corners of his mouth slightly, then straightened his belly and said confidently, "We happened to meet them on the road, so we came here together." The corner of Yulin's mouth curled up slightly, "Passing by." "That's right. Passing by. So, it's a coincidence." "That's right, coincidence." "Fine." Since the fat man was so shameless, Yulin didn't bother to talk nonsense. Yulin took 2 more steps forward. Li Er's fat eyebrows jumped slightly. Zhu Yuner's eyes narrowed. Suzayasu's face was expressionless. Yulin smiled slightly and stopped again. They were about 4 meters away from the 3 of them, and they seemed to be facing each other. Under the somewhat nervous gazes of the 3 of them, Yulin flicked her palm and a stack of cards appeared in her hand. Zhu Yuner's pupils shrank slightly. Before anyone else could ask, Yulin took the initiative to explain, "The TNT bomb is an officially certified version. It has powerful explosive power, is brainless to operate, is simple and practical, and can be used to kill, arson, and rob homes. It is a must-have at home. It is a good friend of Gotham criminals. Who wants it?" Li Erpang. Zhu Yuner. Suzayasu. Li Erpang opened his mouth and almost couldn't help but say, "I want it, I want it, I want it." But they are not fools. We are all apostles. Can we stop being so naive? This is a magic tool to increase points. Once it explodes, you can get tens of thousands of sin points. Will Yulin give it to you for free? Not only Li Erpang thought about this, Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu seemed to have thought about this too, with different expressions and no idea what they were planning. "I'll trade it with you for something else." Li Erpang was also a good person, and he quickly thought things through. Although some things are good, it is obvious that Yulin has the upper hand in this second main task. If she doesn't find a way, the evaluation of this second main task will be completely eaten up by Yulin. Even if they can come back in the 3rd mission, the final score will still be taken up by Yulin. After all, Yulin's score is far ahead of others on the crime list. Not at all in the same order of magnitude. What's more likely is that the sin list of the second main quest will be closely related to the 3rd main quest. When Li Erpang thought of this, he took out a card from the storage space without any further hesitation. "Here, let's go to the side, hee hee." Li Erpang smiled and motioned for Yulin to come to the side to trade. Yulin glanced at the ground with a half-smile, then glanced at Zhu Yuner's fair neck, then she and Li Erpang hid aside and secretly traded. Although the look from Edward Lin that seemed to see everything was short-lived, it was still caught in Zhu Yuner's eyes. Did he find that I had tampered with the ground? How can it be? Zhu Yuner remained silent and looked at Suzayasu. Soon, Yulin and Li Erpang completed the deal in secret. Yulin's expression was very calm, and she couldn't tell anything. The corners of Li Erpang's mouth twitched, and the fat on his face trembled, as if there was some physical pain, and he seemed to be uncontrollably excited. Then, here, brothers and sisters, Fatty takes the first step. Li Erpang is now a wanted criminal. He did not stay in Arkham nursing home for too long and left in a hurry. In addition, a certain crazy woman in the nursing home also left him with some not-so-good memories. If he wasn't very familiar with Gotham City, he wouldn't have set the meeting place here. What about you? If you don't change, will I leave? After the deal with Li Erpang, although Yulin remained calm on the surface, She was quite happy in her heart. Unexpectedly, Li Erpang still hides such good things. He. Zhu Yuner gritted her teeth, feeling very conflicted. Do you really want to switch with him? However, the only thing in her inventory that could catch the eye of this treacherous guy is. After thinking about it, Zhu Yuner's eyes suddenly lit up. My surname is Zhu, as you know, I am the Zhu family. Yilin chuckled, do you think real-life benefits are very attractive to apostles? No more conversions. Yilin didn't intend to waste too much time. On this second day in Gotham City, he had his own plans. Etc. Suddenly, a sweet voice called Yilin. It's Suzayasu. After Yilin turned around, she saw a card spinning towards her. Extremely fast. Yilin smiled slightly, tapped the tip of the umbrella in her hand, and secretly used psychic power to slow down the speed of the card. Then the card seemed to have stopped, and slowly fell into the palm of Yilin's other hand. Seeing Yilin's effortless approach, Zhu Yuner's expression also condensed slightly. Yilin took a quick look and put the card into the storage space. Then, he took out a stack of cards and counted them, 20 in total. That is 20 TNT bombs. Place it somewhere not far from Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu. The props of the apostles are ownerless things, and they belong to whoever uses them. Put it on the ground and anyone can take it. But once an apostle moves away from a certain range, it will be released from the card and transformed into the real thing again. Yilin smiled slightly, turned and left. Zhu Yuner saw Yilin's back quickly disappearing at the other end of the bridge. She finally couldn't help but ask, Sister Susu, what did you exchange for 20 TNT with him? Suzayasu shook her head and had no explanation. She just looked down at the place where Yilin left the card, with an indifferent expression. He found out as expected. Zhu Yuner lowered her head and looked. Really? The location where the card was placed was only a few centimeters away from the thing she had buried. Even if Yilin takes one more step forward, she will step on that position. Zhu Yuner's eyes suddenly became a little colder. What that guy meant was that he was not easy to mess with. Was he trying to give himself a blow? How dare you, give me, Zhu Yuner, a thumbs down. Yilin had already disappeared into the distance. Zhu Yuner's eyes were filled with sparkles, and no one knew what she was thinking in her mind at the moment. The day after criminals reappeared in Gotham City. Time, 12 o'clock. Location, Gotham City General Hospital. Department, Intensive Care Unit. Little James Gordon looked at the white ceiling with an indifferent expression. The surroundings are filled with the unpleasant smell of disinfectant. Even if there were hot and graceful nurses around, twisting their waists and walking around him, little James Gordon could not react at all. There is only one person in his mind now. That damn criminal who, in the dark night, wore a tuxedo, gentleman's hat, and pure white gloves, with deep eyes and a mysterious smile that seemed to see everything through, was making the entire Gotham Police Department spin. That's a criminal. Since the death of the Joker, since the group of lunatics were completely locked up and gradually adapted to retirement life, criminals have reappeared in the peaceful Gotham City. This morning's morning news, every word and every sentence, was like an invisible knife stabbing James Gordon Jr.'s chest one after another. Got a brain hemorrhage from anger? Who has a cerebral hemorrhage? He could even imagine that his chest was bleeding. That's a feeling called humiliation. He hates. The patient is here. He woke up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. The brain CT results show that there is no serious intracranial trauma. Well, I'm just not in a good mental state. I seem to have been hit by something. You should be careful not to stimulate the patient's emotions. There is a common condition called PTSD, which is commonly known as post-traumatic stress disorder. Oh, damn, I almost forgot, Dr. Jack, you are an expert in this field. At this time, several people came to the bedside of little James Gordon while speaking in lowered voices. The moment little James Gordon saw the visitor, there was a slight fluctuation in his indifferent eyes. Dad. This short word. The mood was suddenly full. With 3 parts of hoarseness, 3 parts of pain, 3 parts of emotion, and 1 part of imperceptible frustration. Well, it's really frustrating. I am so frustrated that my emotions are as complicated as a fan chart. The person who came was none other than the famous old Gordon, the previous Gotham sheriff, who also left a strong mark in one of the best-selling books, Legends of Batman. However, the relationship between Gordon Sr. and Batman is also unclear in Batman Legends. There are different versions of gossip circulating in the market. For example, Gordon Sr. and Batman are very romantic, or they are long-lost brothers. What is even more exaggerated is that after Gordon Sr.'s ex-wife Barbara Keene cheated on her, Batman acted boldly and avenged Sr. Gordon, and the two became good friends and stayed together for the rest of their lives. The kind that never gives up. Of course, no matter which version it is, the only thing that is certain is that Batman's only friend during his lifetime was James Gordon. He even witnessed the final battle between Batman and the King of Gotham, Joker, 20 years ago, witnessing the day when all evil in Gotham City was completely eliminated. For various reasons, after old Gordon resigned from the police department, he was naturally elected to become the mayor of Gotham City. Next to old Gordon is an old man with a kind face. Of course I know little James Gordon. Dr. Jack, the most skilled doctor in Arkham Nursing Home, is also the director of Arkham Nursing Home. I saw Dr. Jack looking at little James Gordon gently with an encouraging gaze. When he met that gaze, little James Gordon inexplicably felt that a lot of the haze in his heart had been swept away, and there was also a feeling on his shoulders. Much more relaxed. "Hey kid, it's okay, it's not your fault," old Gordon said with a smile. Dr. Jack smiled slightly and said, "Those puzzles are quite interesting. After I heard about them, I showed them to old Edward for a while. Oh, you know, the old guy likes such weird things, and he also said they were very interesting. It seems that your opponent, the riddle gentleman, is not simple. The implication is, child, it's not that you are too weak, but that the enemy is too cunning, so don't take it to heart." Little James Gordon didn't taste Dr. Jack's subtext carefully, but after hearing the sentence, he felt better for no reason. Seeing that their son's mood was gradually improving, the 3 of them chatted for a while. There was no work involved, just gossip. At the end, old Gordon looked at Dr. Jack half jokingly and half seriously. "Did those guys run away from you?" Dr. Jack laughed dumbly and waved his hand. "How is that possible? You don't know. My place is full of old guys. The youngest Harley is over 50 years old. These young people who are struggling in Gotham, maybe it came from other places. Gotham has many tourists coming every year, who knows? He he he." "It makes sense," old Gordon said with a solemn expression. "Those people all have yellow skin and black hair, and they look like Orientals. There are not many tourists from the East in Gotham, so it shouldn't be difficult to check them out." Little James Gordon nodded. "Dad. I understand. I will be discharged from the hospital soon, and a wanted order will be issued. Everyone who commits crimes in Gotham." The Gordons and his son suddenly looked at each other, with a weird smile on their lips. "They will all die." Dr. Jack. Suddenly. Just when a strange atmosphere gradually filled the ward. A hot nurse wearing a miniskirt and fishnet stockings rushed in with a panicked expression. He didn't even bother to knock on the door. Fortunately, everyone in the room is fully dressed. "Look. TV. Hurry. There's big news. Many people in Gotham General Hospital know that Mayor Gordon is visiting his precious son in this special intensive care unit." As soon as these words came out, no one could stop admiring the hot fishnet stockings of the nurse in the mini-skirt. Old Gordon immediately turned on the TV. It just so happens that it's GBC Gotham Radio. "Hello everyone. Now it's up to me, sexy and unmarried Pooh, to give you an urgent message. Although we don't know whether the respected Chief Gordon is still in a coma due to a cerebral hemorrhage. But as a professional Gotham news baby, I must broadcast this major news as soon as possible. The news anchor suddenly took out a small white card from underneath. On the back of the card was a crudely scrawled question mark. Gordon and Son. Dr. Jack. While the program is being played on the television broadcast, GBC is broadcasting the same news in real time and without delay through Gotham City's citywide broadcast system. Just 10 minutes ago, the mysterious criminal who blew up the Gotham Police Department and the Aparo Highway Bridge successively, and made Chief Gordon so angry that he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and was hospitalized. The charming Riddle gentleman, Edward Wren, sent a criminal warning letter to our GBC. To poor little Sheriff James Gordon. After reading this, the beautiful host smiled, but she seemed to feel something was wrong and immediately straightened her face. Snapped. Little James Gordon, who was watching TV with a livid complexion, accidentally crushed the glass in his hand. I will accompany the last ray of sunshine, soar in the sea of knowledge, and steal the life of the King of Gotham. Then, is there the short sword, and the long and narrow spear. The moment the horn is sounded, the stars fall, all beasts attack. Let's witness the fireworks in Gotham's sky together. The signature is 1, 2, 3. Yours sincerely, the busy Riddle gentleman Edward Lynn. This is the legendary crime warning letter. This is the challenge issued by the Riddle gentleman to Sheriff James Gordon Jr. What a pity. We don't know whether Chief Gordon can wake up from the cerebral hemorrhage. Who has a cerebral hemorrhage? James Gordon Jr. smashed the shards of glass in his hand onto the ground. It seems that there is a Riddle gentleman's disgusting face on the ground. Dr. Jack and old Gordon looked at each other. The style of this puzzle is very weird. Dr. Jack shook his head helplessly. This Edward Wren, in short, this is not old Edward's style. Maybe he is a crazy fan. I think old Edward will be quite happy. Little James Gordon's livid face suddenly turned cold. He plucked the needle off his hand. I want to leave the hospital. New puzzles are coming. The author is almost bald just thinking about the puzzle. All kinds of requests. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 117. Yilin Yuze wandered around the city leisurely. The idle kind. Pan Zhenji was not found. Li Erpang, Suzayasu, and Zhu Yuner didn't seem to cause any big trouble. Walking on the road, Gotham City seemed to have regained its peaceful and warm atmosphere. What a Gotham City with simple folk customs. It's just that the dark clouds above the head always make people feel like there is a huge hand pressing down on the sky of Gotham City, giving people a vague sense of suffocation that makes them unable to breathe. After placing the bomb at the crime site, Yilin found the most convenient route and came to the headquarters of GBC Broadcasting Company. The process was smooth. There was no very bloody accident. After all, the only one who really came face to face with Yilin was James Gordon Jr. He didn't immediately take out his cell phone to take pictures. Yilin also always wears an elegant gentleman's hat, habitually avoiding the camera to capture his face. So even though he is now a new star villain in Gotham City with a famous reputation, no arrest warrant has been issued yet. In fact, what little James Gordon didn't know was that when Yilin first robbed the paper and pen, he deliberately smiled at the camera in order to stimulate the two policemen. It's just that little Gordon never mentioned this matter, and the two excellent policemen at the beginning also forgot about it, otherwise it might cause Yilin a little more trouble. It's just a little bit, it's not really important. Walking on the road, Yilin looked like an elegant nobleman, but many blonde beauties gave him very hot looks. While at the TV station, Yilin left a notice letter and turned around to leave. Didn't stay too long. He would never be able to do something like Pangenji, who could directly break into the innermost parts of GBC. It makes no sense after all. Blow it up and that's it? Of course, in addition to explosions, Yilin is also thinking about other possible ways to quickly obtain a large amount of sin points. This, we must refer to the practices of the older generation of villains. The puzzle has been sent. The bomb has also been installed. While there was still time, Yilin took a taxi and went directly to the outskirts of the city. The taxi was a Overlord car. After crossing the Robert H. Kane Memorial Bridge, Yilin spent about 40 minutes arriving at the site of Wayne Manor, located north of Gotham City. What is a heritage site? The former Wayne Manor is in ruins. There is no record of this incident in Batman Legends. After all, the person who wrote the book didn't know that Bruce Wayne was Batman. Yilin heard this fact from Fatty. Moreover, even if Bruce Wayne holds a press conference openly and says, "I, Bruce Wayne, Batman," it is estimated that all reporters will have the same reaction. Look. Our rich and humorous Mr. Bruce Wayne, the richest man in Gotham, is joking again. Who the hell believes it? Therefore, until now, 20 years after Batman disappeared, no one knows that Bruce Wayne, the old driver who still wanders among the flowers every day, is the famous Batman back then. Wayne Manor has become a tourist attraction. But not too busy. When Yilin arrived here, several foreign tourists were happily taking pictures. As for Gotham natives, I have long been tired of watching it in the past 20 years, and there is nothing interesting to watch in the first place. The huge manor ruins are now open to everyone. There are no special protective measures. After all, it's really just an ordinary ruin. According to Yilin's estimation, even if a few TNT bombs were wasted to blow up the place even more, it would not earn much sin points. Therefore, Yilin was too lazy to take action. After avoiding the eyes of other tourists, Yilin found a deserted place and released Bai Xiaoi. Why me again? After the transparent spirit Bai Xiaoi came out, he glared at Yilin angrily. After many applications, the experience value of the spirit enchanted weapon Blood Jasmine has also increased a lot. It is estimated that it will be upgraded from E level to D level soon. The current corresponding change is that Bai Xiaoi's originally almost transparent spiritual body seems to be slightly more solid than before. But if you don't distinguish carefully, you may not be able to tell it at a glance. Perhaps after upgrading, the spirit enchanted weapons will have many more practical functions. Yilin was looking forward to it. Have any opinions? Yilin glanced at Bai Xiaoi in the air. Humph. Bai Xiaoi's delicate nose twitched slightly and she let out a soft snort. Believe it or not, I will call you Wonkai from now on. Come on, Xiaobai, go take a look underground. Why do I always have tears in my eyes? Because I hate my master so deeply. Although Bai Xiaoi was a little reluctant. She couldn't understand why the master always called her instead of mother. But in order to avoid being called prosperous, Bai Xiaoi could only silently go underground. Compared with Wonkai, Xiaobai sounds 10,000 times more beautiful. When Bai Xiaoi sank into the ground, Yilin also closed her eyes and switched to Bai Xiaoi's vision. His current mental attributes cannot fully exert the full effect of psychic power. It's like the mental lock has only been loosened a little, but not completely unlocked. The reason should be, the attributes are not enough. He will have many applications for his abilities in this area in the future, but he will not be able to use them. A mere 21 meters of telekinesis detection is too short. The vision of the spirit body is different from that of Yilin as a human, and is more similar to the existence of reception. They have no retinas and are not affected by light. 1 minute later, a huge hole suddenly appeared in front of Yilin. Sure enough, is this the legendary Batcave? Li Erpang did not deceive him on this point. In the Bat Cave, Bai Xiaoi walked around the cave. In the corner of the Bat Cave, there was an elevator that had been damaged beyond use. It seemed to be the passage used by Bruce Wayne to transform in the past. Apart from the old elevator, there is nothing special here. Gradually, a thin layer of sweat formed on Yi Lin's forehead. As Bai Xiaoi gets farther and farther away from him, the consumption of spiritual energy becomes more intense. Return. After confirming that nothing was found, Yi Lin summoned Bai Xiaoi back. Bai Xiaoi returned to Yi Lin's body with an unhappy look on her face. Yi Lin finally breathed a sigh of relief. After spending more than half of her spiritual energy, she finally began to recover slowly. Really not. Yi Lin's expression was calm. There weren't many surprises about the empty Batcave. This Gotham City has long deviated from the trajectory Li Erpang knew and has become beyond recognition. It feels like, there's a lot that's wrong. Although Yi Lin has some clues, due to lack of intelligence, she is still unable to completely smooth out the entire plot structure. During this trip to Wayne Manor, Yi Lin just stopped by to confirm some of her ideas. Yi Lin actually didn't expect much to find the equipment left behind by Batman in the Batcave. If it could be found, Yi Lin thought it was a big pit. The kind that traps people without burying their bodies. Just when GBC issued a citywide broadcast. Another part of Gotham City. In a public restroom. Women's restroom. Li Erpang, who was hiding silently in the toilet, couldn't help but curse when he heard the contents of the citywide broadcast. Forgive me for being uneducated, fat man, he can go all over the world with just one word. I was tricked by that kid again. At first, Li Erpang thought that the guy was acting too high profile and weird, but after thinking for a moment, he realized what he was doing. Was that kid's brain damaged by a shovel? Why are there pitfalls everywhere? When Li Erpang cursed loudly, the panicked voices of several women came from the nearby toilet. When Li Erpang saw that he had broken into the women's restroom and was exposed, he picked up his pants and ran out in a panic. Successfully broke into the women's restroom and gained add 2 sin points. Cause a commotion after breaking into the women's restroom, gain add 1 crime value. Well, this wave is not a loss. Li Erpang took a bite of the chicken leg bitterly. It was still hot after he had just grabbed it. After coming out of the women's room, Li Erpang gnawed on a chicken leg and looked around. He didn't know whether it was because Chief Gordon was hospitalized with a cerebral hemorrhage. The search for criminals in Gotham City was not very intensive today. The group of good citizens who chased the fat man for 18 streets yesterday were not in this area today. It's safe for now. Li Erpang secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He finished chewing the chicken legs in his hand, threw the chicken bones on the ground, patted his bulging belly, burped, and began to think about the next step. Throwing trash everywhere in Gotham City will earn add 1 crime value. Spit. Spitting everywhere in Gotham City will get add 1 crime value. Why is this how the sin value is originally calculated? Human life in Gotham City is so worthless. Li Erpang seems to have discovered a new way to earn points. But he didn't brush it off. According to this method of brushing, if he really wants to brush up to 1 million sin points, his saliva will have already dried up before the sin points are fully brushed. Not good value for money. That boy. Dash. Li Erpang looked up to the sky and roared. He finally understands now. Why was Yi Lin so willing to give up the key props for sin value, the TNT bomb? Although it is a transaction, everyone knows that in this second main mission, if you want to earn a large amount of crime points in a short time and become a future star in Gotham City, just killing people is not efficient enough. How can you fill up that huge pit of 1 million with those mosquito legs of about 10 o'clock? Just watching Yi Lin blow up 2 places casually, she earned 100,000. Anyone who is stupid like 84 probably knows that explosion is the correct way to start the second main mission. Explosion is the romance of men. But, however, Yulin gained a reputation as a riddle gentleman on the first night. At first, Fatty was a little confused as to why Yulin would use such a complicated warning method to commit crimes in Gotham. Now he understands. Yulin is basically imitating the behavior of Gotham's past villains. Madness. Disorder. But full of charm. This is the tone that can really make Gotham go crazy. This is also the true meaning of the phrase restoring Gotham to its former glory in the main mission description. I want to be a charming villain. Which villain in Gotham City doesn't have a huge following? The legendary Joker is Gotham's biggest superstar. Moreover, now that Yulin has issued a crime notice in advance, no matter when Fatty and others explode, where they explode, or in what posture they explode, the crime value will most likely fall on Yulin's head in the end. Everyone will think that this is the crime of the riddle gentleman. Unless Li Erpang suddenly lowered his head and patted his belly. Duan. Q-bounce is powerful. Etc. Student Li Erpang suddenly had a brilliant idea. Very wonderful. Gotham City. Because of a riddle that no one can solve by the riddle gentleman, the whole place is boiling. Everyone knows the riddle of the riddle gentleman. But no one can guess it. After little James Gordon was discharged from the hospital, he suddenly regretted not taking a photo of that damn guy at the top of the bell tower. Maybe I should have just fired without saying anything? Even if he issued a wanted warrant now, he could only describe a black tuxedo and a gentleman's hat. But in Gotham City, this kind of attire is the standard suit for many male nobles to go out to flirt with girls. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the vast sea of people. It is difficult to pick out the riddle gentleman based on this alone. What little James Gordon doesn't know is that even if the riddle gentleman is walking near him, he may not notice it. Furthermore, little James Gordon still does not understand how the riddle gentleman disappeared before his eyes like magic at the top of the clock tower that day. There is mystery everywhere. 1500. Looking down at his watch, little James Gordon felt even more anxious. There is not much time. He had already written down the riddle played on the GBC channel on paper. I will accompany the last ray of sunshine, soar in the sea of knowledge, and steal the life of the king of Gotham. Then, hush, listen, it was a short sword and a long and narrow spear. The moment the horn was sounded, the stars fell and all the beasts attacked, witnessing the fireworks in Gotham's sky. He took out the puzzle and looked at it carefully. First of all, the time, it seems that it is most likely after dusk. The sunset in Gotham is around 1800 hours. Could it be that time? The Sea of Knowledge, could it be, the Gotham City Public Library? Soon, James Gordon Jr. abandoned this foolish idea. He had already been deceived once. There were almost no useless sentences in the guy's riddles. In other words, only by deciphering each sentence can we find out where the riddle gentleman actually committed the crime. Etc. Could it be that this time, the riddle gentleman guessed his thoughts and deliberately made things mysterious? This may not be possible. Shit. Little James Gordon wanted to tear up the note in his hand, swallow it in his mouth and pull it out from underneath. To relieve the hatred in my heart. The top floor of Wayne Tower. Bruce Wayne was sitting on the bedside, wrapped in a bath towel. There is a bottle of red wine on the side. It's still daytime. Lying on the round bed was a sleeping girl, with her back to Bruce, and the quilt had a seductive curve. Ah, this arc is so white, ah no, this whiteness is so high. Actually there are two girls. Of course, it doesn't matter. Bruce is now very clear-headed and calm. Not a single thought. After all, we just finished. He frowned, also thinking about the puzzle. Gotham Public Library. STAR Laboratory. Or Gotham Zoo. The king of Gotham, Does he want to kill old Gordon? Among the puzzles, Bruce read several keys. It's actually quite obvious. But subconsciously, combined with the previous puzzle, his keen intuition told Bruce that things were not that simple. This riddle gentleman is more difficult to deal with than the Riddler. The Riddler's personality likes to show off. If others can't guess his riddle, the Riddler can't help but reveal a little hint to show his wisdom that is far beyond ordinary people. This is how Batman used to defeat the Riddler. But the riddle gentleman is different. Silence. Calm. Grace. And, by any means necessary. The Riddler once said, "You don't understand, I really don't want to leave you any clues. I really don't want to go back to Arkham Asylum. But I still left you a clue. So, I had to go back there. Because I might need help. I might actually be crazy." Edward the Riddler leaves behind clues to his crimes because he has to. But this Edward Lynn hopes that no one can guess his riddle so that his crime can go smoothly. So what is the meaning of his riddle? Instead, Bruce thought of something deeper. Beyond the puzzle itself. "Hey, baby." Suddenly, 4 snow-white arms wrapped around Bruce. "I'm busy." "Bruce, honey, we have some ideas." Bruce had some last resort and could only put on the mask again. After all, he is now Bruce Wayne, the richest man in the world. Gotham City West. Gotham University. 1758. Shortly after school. Students wearing short skirts, long legs, and long wavy blonde hair were happily enjoying their time after class and discussing where to go for fun tonight. "Do you think those criminals will show up tonight?" "I guess so. That riddle gentleman is so handsome. I really want to see him in person." "Bah! Nymphomaniac, what will you do if you meet the riddle gentleman?" "Of course it's, he, what you do when you have sex." "And after that?" "Kill him. He is a criminal. A capital crime. It's so romantic to let the riddle gentleman die on the bed." Several female students who exuded the sour smell of youth were giggling on the road as they walked. On Gotham University Plaza. A huge statue with a height of 9 meters is erected. This statue is none other than the mayor of Gotham City, James Gordon. Portrait of the Great Gordon. It is also one of Gotham's famous landmarks. Every year, many tourists from outside Gotham City come to Gotham University specifically to take photos with the Gordon statue. The construction of this great statue began after Mayor Gordon took office, and it has a history of nearly 20 years. Sunset. About to land from the mountains to the west. Only the last glimmer of stubbornness was faintly revealed. Under the golden sunset, the statue of the Great Gordon seemed to be covered with a layer of sacred light, making the students passing by couldn't help but take a few more glances. Wow! At this time, some photographers saw the scene and couldn't help but snap photos. 1800. Boom! There was a loud bang. The statue of Gordon was torn apart in the blink of an eye in the violent waves of the explosion. In the blink of an eye, it became the dust of history. What? The Gordon statue was blown up. The moment he received the notification, James Gordon Jr. was confused. With his brain almost in a state of panic, he put down the phone. Why? Why Gotham University? Why Gordon the Great? The warning notice originally issued by the riddle gentleman has already spread throughout Gotham. Shortly after the Gordon magnificent statue exploded, GBC immediately sent reporters to collect photos, which then made headlines in Gotham at the speed of light. Shocked. The Gordon the Great statue at Gotham University exploded. 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 Terrible. Damn, ruthless. The riddle gentleman once again successfully completed his foretelling crime. We are now asking relevant authoritative experts to thoroughly interpret the mysterious riddle left by the riddle gentleman for us based on this explosion of the statue of Gordon. Gotham is gradually filled with a strange atmosphere. 1830. Bruce felt refreshed. He had a bird's-eye view of Gotham from Wayne Tower, and suddenly noticed a plume of smoke rising from the west. Wait a minute, that's not an industrial area over there. Bruce Wayne frowned and turned on the TV. In an instant, there was news that the Riddle gentleman successfully detonated the statue of Gordon, which confused Bruce's face. Gordon the Great. Bruce Wayne closed his eyes and thought for a moment. A few minutes later, he dialed the number he hadn't called in a long time. Over the years, he rarely took the initiative to contact Gordon Sr. Old man, is there something you're not telling me about that puzzle? What's missing? What do you mean? Bruce Wayne said in a deep voice, sign up, what is that guy's signature? 1, 2, 3. Yours sincerely, the busy Riddle gentleman Edward Lynn. He. Suddenly, Bruce Wayne smiled. I see. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Xueshi. Chapter 118. 1845. When James Gordon Jr. rushed to Gotham University in a hurry, it took a lot of time. After all, Gotham University is located west of Gotham City, which is a bit far. Looking at the great statue of his father that he was proud of being blown to pieces, little James Gordon bit his lower lip, and a trace of blood slowly dripped from there. Click click click. There were also many students watching and taking photos. Post the photos to the forum by the way. Little James Gordon's fingers twitched slightly, but in the end he did not step forward to stop these people's behavior. Because, it doesn't matter anymore. The King of Gotham? You mean the statue of Gordon the Great? Isn't the puzzle behind it completely meaningless? Moreover, it just blew up the statue of the great Gordon, and there were no casualties at all. What happened to the damn Riddle gentleman? What do you want to do? Here, sir, would you like a sip? Another police officer next to him saw little James Gordon's livid expression, so he went to the canteen next door and bought a bottle of the latest drink, which was cold and refreshing. Little James Gordon didn't refuse. He drank it down in one gulp. As the cool liquid poured into his throat, little James Gordon felt a lot more relaxed in an instant. At this time, James Gordon Jr.'s phone was ringing like crazy. It's his father. Child, that Riddle. Before old Gordon could speak, James Gordon Jr. interrupted old Gordon. Dad, I'm sorry. Let you get bombed. Oh no, let your statue be blown up. Old Gordon didn't notice the language problem in James Gordon Jr.'s words for a moment, but his tone was a bit urgent and anxious, and he said quickly, no. Boy, you heard that in the riddle of the Riddle gentleman, there is more than one crime location. He wants to blow up 3 places. Where are you now? Little James Gordon was stunned when he heard this. 3 places? 2 crazy, right? After listening to what old Gordon said. That's the answer to the riddle. James Gordon Jr. interrupted the call with a heavy heart. He lowered his head and silently looked at the time. It was already too late. Sir? Why are you laughing? The accompanying police officer suddenly looked at little James Gordon strangely. Laughing, little James Gordon rubbed his cheek vigorously. You must have read it wrong. It's too late to cry at this time, how can you still laugh? The so-called riddle becomes worthless once the answer is revealed. There is no mystery at all. At least that's how it seems to James Gordon Jr. In the Riddle gentleman's latest mystery, the entire Gotham City, including James Gordon Jr., is trapped in a misunderstanding. Everyone, including James Gordon Jr., believed that one crime was foretold and only one crime was committed. But in fact, the Riddle gentleman used a short riddle to point to 2 times and 3 places. In the puzzle, I will accompany the last ray of sunshine undoubtedly refers to the sunset. At sunset, it is 1800 hours. The sunset in Gotham City is always on time. But at the same time, it also refers to the west, and to the west of Gotham City, the true meaning of the Sea of Knowledge is Gotham University. The King of Gotham refers to James Gordon, the mayor of Gotham City. Put together with the previous mystery, there is no doubt that the answer is the Gordon statue that was just blown up. The follow-up of the riddle, then, shush, listen actually also implies that the gentleman in the riddle will commit crimes one after another. The action of listen means paying attention to the sound. The short sword, the narrow spear, the moment when the trumpet sounds reminds people of the long and short hour hands of the clock tower. Every hour, the clock tower chimes. And the trumpet, which is the bell that follows immediately at 1800 hours, then the time is 1900 hours. Stars fall and beasts attack. Pointing to two locations respectively. STAR Laboratory. Gotham Zoo. Witness the fireworks in Gotham together. This sentence naturally means that these two locations exploded at the same time. The biggest tip is actually at the end of the page. 1, 2, 3 is actually the most critical clue for solving the puzzle, and busy riddle gentleman actually implies that the riddle gentleman will be very busy in this criminal operation. After all, there are 3 places to bomb. Suddenly, little James Gordon's pupils shrank slightly. He thought of a deeper meaning. The reason why the riddle gentleman chose the statue of Gordon for the first explosion was to distract the police. Even if the riddle was solved after the first explosion, there would be no time to stop the third one an hour later. Second explosion. This terrible and thoughtful riddle gentleman. This damn charming riddle gentleman. Correct. Only then did he remember that even if it was too late, he still had to do something. But when little James Gordon looked down at his watch. The time is just right. 1900. Gotham City. STAR Laboratory. Gotham Zoo. Boom. Boom. Almost at the same time, it exploded on the spot. Like fireworks at a celebration, the blazing fire lit up the gloomy sky of Gotham City and stung everyone's eyes. It's the Riddle Gentleman. GBC radio station. Everyone, including the authoritative experts who were talking about the riddle set by the Riddle Gentleman, suddenly felt a strong shock. Everyone ignored the fact that the show was being broadcast live and hurriedly leaned out the window to take a look. There are 2 places in Gotham City. At this moment, it has turned into a sea of fire. It promises to be a busy night. Whether it's the Riddle Gentleman or Gotham. In the dark night, a gentleman in a tuxedo quietly stayed away from the crowd. Behind it, there was a raging fire. A real man never looks at the explosion behind him. There was chaos in the streets, but also a weird madness. Countless citizens carried various firearms and frantically searched for criminals around the Star Laboratory and Gotham Zoo. As if she was isolated from the world, Yulin quietly shuttled between the crazy crowds. When Gotham citizens suddenly realized that someone seemed to be passing by, they turned around and saw that the elegant figure had long disappeared. 3 crimes, 3 goals. Yulin took out the question mark scepter and smiled. Then he quickly put it back into the storage space and replaced it with an ordinary black umbrella. In terms of quality, I feel that umbrellas are of higher quality. After all, the question mark scepter is old and looks a bit worn. In addition to successfully blowing up the Gordon statue not long ago, Yulin gained a lot of sin points in total. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham's famous landmark the statue of Gordon and obtain a crime value of add 60,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy the Gotham branch of STAR Laboratory and obtain a crime value of add 30,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham's famous attraction Gotham Zoo and obtain a crime value of add 40,000. This score came very quickly. No wonder Li Erpang was greedy when he saw it. Yulin's expression suddenly condensed. Then he closed his eyes and thought for a full 2 minutes. Suddenly he had an idea. It's time for a big vote. Yulin chuckled and disappeared into the darkness in a blink of an eye. The entire Gotham City is plunged into madness due to the endless and fascinating crimes committed by the Riddle Gentleman. The strange thing is that although the Riddle Gentleman has committed many crimes, no one has said that they have seen the Riddle Gentleman's true face. There are also various speculations on the Gotham BBS. There are even hand-drawn drawings of the Riddle Gentleman in various styles. If Yulin had a chance to log into Gotham BBS and watch it, she would probably laugh or cry. But Yulin is a bit busy right now. No time to be distracted. 2000 Gotham City. WXYZ Radio Channel 2 Headquarters. A round figure was hiding furtively in the woods, looking at the figures that kept coming and going from the radio station. Are there too many people? How did that kid Yulin plant the bomb in full view of everyone? Isn't it too difficult? A vague sound, like chewing food, loomed behind the woods. 10 minutes later, Li Erpang finished eating a whole fried chicken and threw the chicken bones on the floor. After harvesting a wave of mosquito leg sin points, he was ready to take action. Although he has set a detailed action plan. But when he arrived at the location of the operation, he found some difficulties. He moved his arms and legs a little. The clothes are a bit tight. There was no way, this was already the most fitting clothes that the store could order, but it was still a bit small for Li Erpang's figure. Ahem. Li Erpang was brewing his emotions for a while. He silently put on a dark blindfold, and he dug out 2 holes for his eyes. He was wearing a tight black suit and a small round hat on his head. Li Erpang is quite satisfied with this look. After all, among the various villain legends in Gotham, the one who has a slightly more fitting image of him is the pudgy penguin Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. The name is a bit long, but that doesn't matter. Sudden. Li Erpang rushed out of the woods, smashed the glass door of WXYZ Radio Channel 2 headquarters with one slap, and then plunged in. What the hell? Someone broke into the radio station. At this time, although the radio station was already off work, there were still many people inside the radio station. Kill. After Li Erpang broke in wearing a suit, many of the guards who stayed behind took out their weapons without hesitation and fired a hail of bullets at Li Erpang's back. Li Erpang felt a cold murderous intent coming from behind him, and he did not dare to stop. He completely became a flexible fat man, jumping up and down in the hail of bullets, and dodging. In the corridor of the office building, Li Erpang went around in circles and placed TNT bombs in every corner of the first floor. Of course, he couldn't calculate when the explosion would be appropriate, so he could only use remote control to control the timing of the explosion. The timed explosion thing doesn't suit him. If one person is not good enough, he will probably have to confess his 200 kilograms of fat as well. Choo 222. Soon, other surrounding Gotham City citizens also received the news that WXYZ radio station had been invaded by criminals, and the good citizens of Gotham City gradually moved closer to WXYZ radio station. They all have guns in their hands. A few minutes later, Li Erpang also had a lot of bullet holes on his body, but his health value did not drop much. He directly protected his vital points, moved left and right, and rolled out of the radio station again. The damn criminal is there. Chase, chase, chase. Go, go, go. Don't let that damn fat guy get away. Who is the damn fat guy? Your whole family is really fat? Li Erpang ran for a while, then suddenly stood up straight and turned around. Wait. I have something to say. This style of painting that changed at a moment's notice really made the onlookers with guns suddenly startled, and they were just not far away from Li Erpang. Surrounded Li Erpang. Li Erpang raised his head, his deep eyes, because he was squinting, no one could distinguish him. A lump of fat squeezed out from the corner of his mouth, a bit like a mysterious smile. He opened his arms, pumped up his lungs, looked up to the sky and roared in front of everyone. I, Fatty Kobot, the Black Goose Man, will rule Gotham tonight. Gotham. No one noticed that Li Erpang was holding a small and exquisite detonator. Boom. A terrible earthquake, accompanied by an astonishing heat wave, centered on the first floor of WXYZ radio station, spreading in layers and spreading in all directions. Boom. Because the bombs installed by Li Erpang were all on the first floor, and they were specially selected on the load-bearing beams and columns. With this explosion, the floors above continued to sink at a terrifying speed, with great violence. Within a moment, more than half of the WXYZ radio station collapsed, submerged in a sea of fire and dust. In the name of Black Goose Man, destroy Gotham's famous radio station WXYZ Radio Channel 2 headquarters and obtain a crime value of AD 50,000. After receiving the task prompt, Li Erpang was instantly overjoyed and felt that the deal with Yilin was really worth it. Really? Explode. This is the romance of men. I, the Black Goose, will blow up Gotham to pieces. Explode the universe. Explode. Suddenly. The good citizens of Gotham City reacted and suddenly stared straight at Li Erpang with the same weird smile. The strange smiles on the faces of the citizens were like the same mask, exuding evil aura. Instantly, Fatty Li's scalp became numb all the way to his anus. Li Erpang didn't have time to call him Black Goose Man again. I saw all Gotham citizens taking out grenades from their crotches in neat movements. Dash. In an instant, there was another explosion of fire, completely engulfing Li Erpang's figure. Boom 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 boom. 2030. Gotham City. Wedgwood Museum. It was already closing time, so there were few people here. Zhu Yuner opened the sin list and took a look. He murmured thoughtfully to himself. That guy has no next move. Is it because he doesn't have enough bombs, or does he need other preparations? Well, that damn fat guy has also started to take action. With this score, he should have blown up a place. While they have no next move, now is the best time for us to act. Otherwise, even if it explodes, the crime will most likely be blamed on Yilin. Zhu Yuner had the same idea as Li Erpang. After all, in Gotham City today, Urium steals the show. If others just bomb twice incognito, this major crime would most likely be recorded on the Riddle Gentleman account. Humph, that cunning boy, do you really think I didn't see through your trick? Zhu Yuner smiled coldly, with a hint of disdain at the corner of her mouth. But deep down in her heart, Zhu Yuner had to admit that Yilin's understanding of this main mission was indeed far better than that of the other apostles. That's why the current situation has arisen. Yilin was far ahead. The others tried their best to catch up with Yilin. No matter what, we have to find a way. Zhu Yuner's eyes flashed with danger. Suzayasu silently handed over a mobile phone. Suzayasu snatched this from other citizens and asked for the password persuasively. Good. Zhu Yuner took a photo of TNT after it was deactivated, and then took another photo of herself and Suzayasu. Then quickly uploaded to the Gotham City BBS. After various criminals triggered a series of criminal incidents tonight, at this moment, the traffic of Gotham City's BBS reached an unprecedented high. Almost as soon as a post was posted, tens of thousands of views were added within a minute. Suddenly, an anonymous post caught the attention of all Gotham citizens. We, the Empress and King Kong will blow up the Wedgwood Museum in 10 minutes, so stay tuned. This is a blatant warning of a crime. Where did this Empress and King Kong come from as criminals? Although this character is far different from the elegant and charming Riddle Gentleman, criminals are criminals and must die. Then, police, citizens, All the nearby armed forces converged towards the Wedgwood Museum like a torrent at the fastest speed. Zhu Yun's heart was slightly shocked. About 10 seconds after posting, she felt the ground tremble slightly. It was like, there were countless people walking on the ground in neat steps. The vibrations on the ground actually reached here. Horrible Gotham. Zhu Yun gradually felt that the madness that belonged to the city, behind the seemingly simple folk customs, seemed to be an invisible hand, stimulating the emotions of the entire Gotham. Fortunately, she didn't dare to send out a crime notice several hours in advance like Yilin did. She couldn't figure out Yilin's weird guessing game either. So the time she left for herself was only 10 minutes. If it takes longer, the two of them will be overwhelmed by the surging Gotham crowd. In the distance, Zhu Yun could already hear the piercing sirens. And the red and blue flashing lights formed a long string, moving quickly in the dark night. 10 minutes are up. Zhu Yun and Suzayasu looked at each other. Without saying anything, they tightened their grip on the detonator and started to escape along the pre-planned route. When James Gordon Jr. arrived first not far from the Wedgwood Museum. Boom! A dazzling fire shot into the sky. The dark and simple Gotham City was bombed again. Boom! James Gordon Jr. slapped the steering wheel hard. There is a beeping sound. Nearly 2 hours have passed since the last action. Yilin spent a lot of time preparing for the next action. He opened the sin list and took a look. He quickly closed the sin list with a smile. It seems that they have also begun to find the secret to increasing points. Happy score earning moment. Yilin raised her head and came to GBC TV station again. If not for the need, Yilin would have already planned to blow up this Gotham landmark that seemed to have a high score. Haha, will it really go so well? After Yilin handed the express delivery to the doorman, Yilin lowered the brim of her hat and left gracefully. Even until this time, no one had connected this elegant noble gentleman with the Riddle gentleman. Just, for now. Yilin raised her head and looked towards the tallest building in Gotham, Wayne Tower. Smile slightly. From the constantly updated news reports, Yilin also learned that her last riddle had been solved shortly before the explosion. This time. Suddenly. Gotham City. GBC Radio once again sent out a strong broadcast throughout the city. Headline. Headline. Attention all citizens. Attention all citizens. Shocked, Riddle gentleman sent us a crime notice again. Wait, what is this, USB flash drive? There is a video in it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 119. GBC Gotham Radio. Shortly after Yilin sent the U-disc, a figure slowly walked out of the darkness. The figure was wearing a tight purple suit. A game with a weird face painted on it. The ferocious split lips slowly evoked an evil smile. Jajaja. Gotham BBS Forum. Now it's completely exploded. There are even many people who took advantage of the peak of traffic to put up small advertisements in the Gotham BBS. But as long as the posts have nothing to do with Gotham criminals, almost immediately they are posted, they will disappear into the sea and become grave posts in an instant. I was pushed down by countless posts about Riddle gentlemen. Yilin never expected that he, who was unknown in the real world, would become the top traffic person in Gotham City. Next, make the final preparations. Yilin didn't stay too long, just like a hard-working little bee, buzzing quietly, becoming a rising star in Gotham City's criminal world. Another corner of Gotham City. Then darkness fell. It's also easier to hide. When Li Erpang saw Zhu Yun and Suzayasu's points on the crime list, and their points increased by a small amount, he couldn't help but grab a mobile phone. After gently asking for the password of the mobile phone, he logged into the Gotham City BBS to check the relevant news. That second fool Pangenji must be at the bottom and cannot escape. Yilin's score is far ahead, and she probably won't be able to catch up. Li Erpang's current goal in main mission 2 is to strive for second place. The content of main task 3 is unknown, so Fatty believes that no matter what he does, he cannot fall too far behind in main task 2. No matter how bad it is, he still has to be ranked a little higher than Zuyuner and Brother Su to have a chance of getting a higher rating in the final evaluation. How do you say something? It all depends on the support of peers. What the hell? You can still play like this. Li Erpang browsed the posts for a few minutes and his eyes widened instantly. As expected of a woman, she actually thought of using the forum to post notices to increase the criminal visibility. If that's the case, he. Li Erpang smiled obscenely. If those two girls could use this trick, he could also use it. So, Li Erpang put away his cell phone. Deng 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 ground into the dark night. Prepare to commit an earth-shaking crime. Sister Susu, listen quickly. Zuyuner, who was planning where to bomb next, suddenly heard the headlines on the city's radio and was startled. Video crime warning letter. What the hell is this? When Zuyuner thought of Yilin's expression, her intuition told her that there must be something weird in it. But for a while, she couldn't figure out why this guy was publishing puzzles in such an increasingly high-profile way. The video means, he will appear directly in the sight of Gotham citizens. On a Gotham-wide broadcast. The beautiful host puts on the sexiest and most charming outfit. Low cut, deep V, short skirt, black stockings, high heels. Perfect. People who were not in front of the TV, including several apostles, could only hear the sound but could not see the content of the video. But for riddles, sound is enough. Li Erpang also stopped in the darkness. Listen carefully to Yiren's next plan. When he thought of that pretender, Li Erpang couldn't help but feel his teeth itching with hatred. If it weren't for that guy, why would he put on such a stupid tight suit? You have to take your time even when running, for fear of being squeezed. On the eve of the Riddle Gentleman crime trailer being played, the entire Gotham City suddenly fell into a strangely quiet atmosphere. It seems like everyone is waiting. Everyone is waiting to hear the voice of this gentleman. This is a voice that passes by all over Gotham. At this moment, the entire Gotham City fell into complete silence just because of one criminal. Friends sitting in front of the TV are already looking forward to the crime preview video from the Riddle Gentleman. At the same time, this is also the next piece of the puzzle. Sizzling. The charming hostess gave the camera a few winks and finally started playing the video. In video, a gentleman wearing a black tuxedo, holding a folded umbrella, stood proudly. The Riddle Gentleman was seen holding one hand on his chest and pushing down the brim of his hat with one hand. In the video, the full face of the Riddle Gentleman cannot be seen clearly. It is covered by the gentleman's hat. Everyone can only see a mysterious smile full of confidence from under the black brim. Ah! Confused Gotham. Hello. Edward Rin, the Riddle Gentleman. Next, is my next puzzle, and it is also the last puzzle tonight. I hope to bring you the most dazzling fireworks show in front of the TV. In the video, the corner of the Riddle Gentleman Edward Lin's mouth curled up slightly. Then he said slowly in an unhurried tone. When Scarlet and Fio meet again. When the stars fall like rain. When the night sky dies in a blink of an eye. When memory is no longer eternal. When death is no longer far away. When day comes no more. When the sky can no longer be touched. When your eyes are no longer favored by the light. When I am separated from you by the vast distance of time and space. When the distance of longing is as far away as the other side of the dead. Then I will cross the long river of void. Breaking the barrier between reality and illusion. I'm everywhere. I'm going everywhere. Tonight, Gotham will go crazy with my fireworks. The gentleman will descend at the center of the fireworks and take off the crown of the old Dark King. Who I am. Everyone looked stunned. Completely clueless. But when I heard it, it seemed very profound. In the short video, after the riddle gentleman finished telling the mysterious riddle, his lips tightened, evoking a hint of imperceptible loneliness, which was quickly replaced by a confident smile. I saw the riddle gentleman elegantly holding the brim of his hat and performing a gentleman's courtesy through the screen to everyone watching the live broadcast. The etiquette freezes for about 1 second. Good night. The video from riddle gentleman ends abruptly. Li Erpang, pretend. Zhu Yun'er, pretend. Add 1. Suzayasu, pretentious. Add 2. Pan Zhenji, the pretentious boy. Add 3, GGGG. At the moment when the video, or the citywide broadcast, the live broadcast without delay ended, other apostles from the same world as Yilin unexpectedly gave the same comment. It's just that the tone and look are slightly different. Not good. Li Erpang's expression became solemn. Although I can't solve that kid's riddle, according to that kid's style, he usually makes announcements sometime in advance. He's used to pretending, so I guess he won't be able to change it for a while. Look. Come and hurry up. Another part of Gotham City. Humph. Are you trying to be mysterious? Zhu Yun'er smiled coldly. Isn't he a poetry writer in reality? Suzayasu looked calm and reminded, it's time for us to take action. Zhu Yun'er looked back at Suzayasu, all the hatred in her eyes subdued, and smiled slightly. Oh, but it doesn't matter, this is the second main mission, the third main mission is the real beginning, so what if we give this round to him? However, we can't fall too far behind. At the very least, we have to squeeze out that damn fat man and Pan Zhenji. All the apostles began to act secretly again in their own way. Snapped. James Gordon Jr. slammed his police hat to the ground. Very angry. He suddenly remembered the news about cerebral hemorrhage again. A mouthful of fishy sweet taste surged out of his mouth, and little James Gordon swallowed it back hard. Gudong gudong. Little James Gordon drank the drink in his hand and suppressed his shock. After the shock, he suddenly smiled coldly. You dare to release the video in front of everyone? Humph. You underestimate Gotham City. Send me a wanted warrant. As long as the suspects whose appearance matches the riddle gentleman in the video, they will be killed on the spot. Yes. Sheriff Gordon's men sprang into action. In the past 20 years, they have never tried to act so resolutely. In the past 2 days, they seem to have become a police officer again. Not gamblers, drunkards, prostitutes, cough cough. Also, launch the helicopter and search the whole city. If you find King Kong, Empress, or Black Goose Man, shoot them all on the spot. After the shooting, you can go to Mayor Gordon to receive financial subsidies. Hey, sir, even if you don't say anything, the citizens will choose to shoot him on the spot if they find a heinous criminal. Another police officer suddenly laughed strangely. What did you say? No, I'll give the order right now. After completing all the instructions, little James Gordon lowered his head in deep thought, pondering over the mystery that was as long as the sky. Obviously, this puzzle is confusing. The difficulty is estimated to be sky high. It can be called the most bizarre puzzle since the appearance of the riddle gentleman. No matter which sentence it is, it seems to be inconsistent with any location in Gotham City. Except for the last sentence, fireworks, which should refer to an explosion unless there is no accident, little James Gordon could not guess the time and place at all. Is the riddle gentleman's IQ really that terrible? Why can one person bring the entire Gotham to its knees? Hateful. Little James Gordon suddenly felt extremely regretful. There should have been no hesitation in shooting the riddle gentleman that night in the bell tower, rather than making him raise his hands. It was that moment of hesitation that night that allowed Gotham to become what it is today. Gotham, it seems, is gradually returning to the chaos and disorder it was 20 years ago. A kind of chaos that feels powerless. But 20 years ago, Gotham City had Batman. 20 years later, there is no longer the Dark Knight who hides in the darkness to punish criminals. No. Little James Gordon was thinking wildly when he suddenly realized that he had thoughts that shouldn't have occurred. He shook his head violently, throwing away the unrealistic thoughts. Even the disappeared Batman cannot represent justice in Gotham. His methods are not just at all. The only one who can represent justice in Gotham is Gordon. Whether it was his father back then or him now, Sheriff Gordon. 2230. Gotham City. The sky was filled with helicopters. Countless beams of light are cast from helicopters to search for criminals on the ground. Of course, the focus is still on the Riddle gentleman. Almost as long as anyone wearing a black suit, regardless of gender, old or young, has the slightest clue, a group of people will pounce on them and shoot them to death indiscriminately. After all, he was a heinous criminal. How could he not be beaten to death? How could he not be beaten to death? How can you not die? Well, beat him to death. At the top of the Wayne Tower, Bruce Wayne fell completely silent. He admitted that the young man who called himself Riddle Gentleman was far more than he could have imagined. This time the riddle turned out to be so long and so difficult to guess. He looked at it for a long time, but except for a little clue at the end, he couldn't guess anything else. Even the time of the crime left Bruce Wayne clueless. Bruce took a sip of wine and looked at the three graceful and delicious bodies on the bed. This time, he didn't respond at all. My mind was filled with that weird puzzle. Am I really old? Bruce Wayne shook his head helplessly, recalling the battle of wits and courage with the Riddler and the Penguin, and felt quite emotional. And this time, suddenly, there was a continuous vibration on the table. It's old Gordon. Bruce smiled bitterly. What? You can't even guess it? When old Gordon heard this, his eyes widened in surprise. Haha, this is Gotham's rising star, Bruce actually joked humorously. Old friend, run away. Bruce swung the wine glass. Although I can't guess his riddle, I can also see that the final explosion of the Riddle gentleman was definitely huge, otherwise he wouldn't have said it was fireworks all over the sky. If every sentence was if it represents an explosion site, there are too many targets and there will be no time to defuse the bomb, unless you can catch him. Old Gordon held the phone tightly and was quite speechless. Old man, you know, I was born in Gotham. Clear. Bruce hung up the phone. He understood what old Gordon meant. He was born in Gotham, and he will choose to die in Gotham. Bruce looked at the sky. 20 years ago, there was still a thick layer of clouds floating over Gotham. Only this layer of clouds made him feel extremely familiar. It seemed as if a bright and dazzling, bat light was about to appear among the clouds. Suddenly, Bruce's pupils shrank slightly. He remembered a certain sentence in the riddle. Couldn't help but murmur in a low voice. A few more seconds. Bruce suddenly laughed. 2250. The whole Gotham is covered with dark clouds. This doesn't just refer to the dark clouds over Gotham. It also refers to the dark cloud in everyone's heart. The earth-shattering explosion in the Riddle Gentleman Edward Ring trailer has not yet happened. A few hours have passed, and GBC radio station has even invited more than a dozen authoritative experts to try to solve the mystery of the Riddle Gentleman. However, many guesses have been put forward so far, and they have been overturned one by one. There is no single location or answer that can perfectly explain the riddle revealed by Riddle Gentleman Edward Ring. This can be called the most difficult mystery in the history of Gotham City. This question is too difficult. In the sky, one helicopter after another hovers over Gotham. This is a military force directly under Mayor James Gordon. No matter in terms of quality or professionalism, they are far superior to the trash that has been idle for many years in the Gotham Police Department. B-78. B-78. Your light is crooked. Please focus on searching the ground. B-78. B-78. Ahem, B-78 received it. A-93, have you found anything in the Upper East Side? C-93 found a suspicious Black Goose Man figure in Burnley District. Please ask nearby police teams to immediately send people to search. B-63 found suspected figures of King Kong and Empress on the banks of the Finger River. Damn. It's them. Go. Go. Rush. Under the professional Air Force search and attack, all the apostles gradually became invisible. Damn it, it's almost time. The noise became louder and louder, and there were not many TNT bombs left in his hands. Li Erpang was inspired by the ideas of Zhu Yuner and the two girls. He spent nearly half the night burying TNT in several locations and setting up set a time. He was even afraid of forgetting the time, so he deliberately recorded the explosion time of each place in a small notebook. At that time, as long as the notice is sent to the Gotham BBS in advance before the explosion time, not only can it increase the sense of existence, but also harvest a large amount of crime points. By then, points will be rolling in on the list. The name Black Goose Man can also be heard throughout Gotham. Wakaka. Thinking of the wonderful scene to come, Li Erpang couldn't help laughing. If given a choice, I want to be a good person. But, I have no choice. Li Erpang smiled coquettishly and couldn't help rubbing his palms excitedly. Near the Finger River. The lights of the helicopter were like gangrene attached to the bones, biting the two figures from the sky and refusing to let go. Sister Susu, your figure is more conspicuous. You go and divert the helicopter while I hide. We are running out of time. I must publish the notice on the Gotham BBS as soon as possible. Otherwise, when the time is up, the bomb will explode and the crime value maybe it will all fall on that guy Yilin. Zhu Yuner said as she galloped quickly. Suzayasu was silent for a moment and didn't say anything more. She just whispered, okay. Suddenly, under the light of the helicopter, Suzayasu's muscles seemed to bulge, and her veins swelled, which was extremely frightening. Bo. Pia. She actually uprooted a tree on the roadside with her bare hands and threw it directly towards the helicopter in the sky. Phew, KKK. What kind of monster is this? He is not human. In the public channel of the helicopter team, a panicked voice suddenly exploded. The distance is so far, the throw will definitely miss. But Suzayasu was not so incredible that she could throw a tree with her bare hands and accurately hit a helicopter in the air. However, her move frightened the helicopter's lighting beam into swinging around. When the helicopter pilot came to his senses again, the figure of Empress Zhu Yuner was missing on the ground. Court death. Click click click. On both sides of the combat helicopter, the cover was lifted, and two round machine guns appeared, about to spit out terrifying tongues of fire. Suddenly, an arrogant and unruly figure appeared in the sky without warning. Ladies and gentlemen, Jajaja. Originally, this GBC company's projection system was used to place various expensive advertisements, but now it broadcasts a strange figure live. With his head touching the sky and his feet touching the ground, he was wearing a purple suit and his face was painted with ferocious mottled paint. It's him. It's him. It's him. That one, Joker. Fake Joker. Last night, this fake Joker had already robbed GBC once, but I didn't expect to make the same mistake again tonight. As we all know, the real Joker is dead. Ha! Joker in the sky looked down at the entire Gotham from a high altitude with a crazy look. No one can guess why this GBC was robbed again and again by a fake clown. Hey hey hey. The clown suddenly shook his whole body like a convulsion, and his hoarse voice spread throughout Gotham through the public address system. Why so serious? Is it because of love? Stupid dash. Gotham. He, do you think I'm crazy? The upright Joker silhouette suddenly put on a serious expression. Gotham, bullshit. Hey, look, there are actually two sides to madness. The fake Joker stretched out his white palm, raised the front and back sides respectively, and then the scarlet messy lip paint suddenly split towards the base of the ear. That is a ferocious clown smile. But actually, you see, this side is madness, and the other side of madness is art. The fake Joker shadow suddenly appeared in the sky, pointing at a building. There. Louis E. Grieve Memorial High School. Boom. In an instant, where the clown pointed, there was a violent explosion, and fire shot into the sky. Shine on the whole city. The whole city was boiling instantly. This is a real clown. The former king of darkness, Joker. And the corner that no one has discovered. Li Erpang was stunned. The next second, Li Erpang looked sad and started crying hysterically. I'm fooling your uncle, Pan Zhenji. That was the explosion that I worked so hard to bury. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 120. The fat man cried. Totally crying. Crying miserably. He eagerly jumped up and down in Gotham, hiding here and there for a long time, originally thinking that he could score a lot of points. But I didn't expect that Pan Zhenji, the legendary clown in cosplay, would be cut off immediately. This script is completely wrong. How the hell do you know when and where to explode? Are you a prophet? Or did you peek at the script? Is there any humanity left? Is there any heavenly principle? Do you still have any compassion? But it's okay. Li Erpang cried for a while and quickly took out his mobile phone. Fortunately, he buried more than one bomb. Li Erpang never fights an unprepared battle. He would not be stupid enough to put all the eggs in the same basket and explode them. This is wisdom, you idiot boy. Li Erpang just opened the phone he grabbed and looked at the time. It's almost time. Hurry. Right now. There had just been a massive explosion over there. Unexpectedly, in the sky above Gotham, everyone could look up and see the phantom of Joker, smiling again. When Li Erpang saw that sinister smile, an inexplicable feeling suddenly appeared in his heart. A foreboding feeling. Crazy, it's also art. Turning his palm over again, Pan Zhenji suddenly pointed at Gotham City. Another place. Archie Goodwin International Airport. As Pan Zhenji's palm fell. Boom. Soaring into the sky. Fry. In Gotham City. Zhu Yun'er, who was posting a post as fast as she could, suddenly moved her legs together and clamped down in fear. That direction. It's the airport. It was the explosion point she planted. Pan. Justice. Righteousness. Pan Zhenji seemed to have no intention of stopping. I saw him closing his eyes, his smile becoming more and more crazy and evil. Palms together, one drop. Vince Finkelbridge. Fry. Fall again. Evanston High School. Explode. Ace Chemical Treatment Plant. Explode. Crazy. Crazy. The world has gone crazy. Li Erpang stared blankly at the devil-like figure in the sky. I feel like I have nothing left to talk about. This is obviously a bomb he planted. He came to a cosplay show for those two idiots Mao, and all the sins were stolen away. For those explosion locations, Li Erpang didn't get even half a dime. Not at all. All of Gotham City. Completely crazy. The explosions of fire that shot into the sky were like fireworks at a holiday celebration, completely igniting Gotham City's emotions. This is Gotham. The dark and simple Gotham City. Now, no matter who it is, no one doubts that Joker, who directed the entire celebration like a crazy musician, is a fake. That figure, that face, that crazy smile, that miraculous criminal method, there is no doubt that he is Joker. The real Joker. Suddenly. Choo 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 choo. A burst of crazy gunfire rang out into everyone's ears. The legendary King of Darkness, Joker, was instantly hit by a hail of bullets and was sent flying. Yo 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 yo. Sizzling. The whole city's projection suddenly went out. It's as if Joker has never been here. But now Gotham has long been in flames. Only this celebration proves that he, the King of Darkness, Joker, once danced in the sky of Gotham. Li Erpang. Yulin. Zuyuner. Suzayasu. Gotham. Dr. Jack. Pia. Little James Gordon, who was fighting fires all over the city, couldn't help but smash his hat on the ground after witnessing all this. Wait, why do you say again? A feeling of déjà vu. If James Gordon Jr. had a hatred value setting, that inexplicable Joker would immediately jump to the second place in hatred value. As for the first, needless to say, still the elegant, charming, and damn riddle gentleman, Edward Lynn. All deserve to die? All criminals deserve to die? Etc. Little James Gordon was suddenly startled. This series of explosions, if it is the work of the fake Joker, then what is the goal of the riddle gentleman? His hasn't exploded yet. But now that Gotham is riddled with holes, there are not many targets left for the riddle gentleman to blow up. Where did it explode? Where? Where is the location indicated by that extremely difficult riddle? No, I should say, where else could it be? There's no place to blow up, okay. Little James Gordon was angry and confused, and subconsciously grabbed a handful of hair. Unexpectedly, I caught a lot of them. Bruce Wayne took a silent bath. Dark room. No lights on. On the huge round bed, the quilt was uneven, with peaks and ridges like clusters, and waves like angry waves. There seemed to be 4 slim figures. But, that's not important. Bruce Wayne suddenly smiled. Then he took out a bottle of Lafite red wine from the wine cabinet in the room. Well, the taste is average this year. It's a pity that there is no better one at this time, so I'll make do with it. He took 2 more transparent red wine glasses. Humming a little tune, he took the elevator and went directly to the top floor. The rooftop of Wayne Tower is a platform that can accommodate helicopters landing, with a large H printed in the center. Place the red wine glass and red wine on the ground. Bruce Wayne thought for a while, then moved downstairs to move a small table and 2 small benches. After spending 20 minutes setting up the small table and bench, Bruce Wayne opened the red wine and poured it into a special decanter. Hee. Bruce Wayne was just wearing a bathrobe and slippers, sitting on a small bench with his eyes closed, as if waiting for something. Or, waiting for someone. Fight the fire, put out the fire. Damn it! Where's the fire brigade? The fire brigade is chasing the Black Goose Man. I found that monster King Kong next to the Empress. Shall I go? King Kong kicked down the telephone pole. East District. There's a gun battle in the East District. Wait. Am I dazzled? It's Joker. Joker. He's on the run. He's actually on the run. Be careful, he must have some trick up his sleeve. Damn it. Are there no people in the fire brigade? The entire Gotham City is in complete chaos. The whole city mobilized. Be it police or citizens. They are all frantically hunting down the criminals who disrupt Gotham's good style. But this chase gradually took on an inexplicable atmosphere. 2340. James Gordon Jr. wasn't hunting anyone down. He holds a map in his hand. I just picked up a copy of Gotham City Travel Guide from a roadside store. It contains the most complete map of Gotham City. Looking at the map, James Gordon Jr. tried to solve the riddle of the Riddle Gentleman line by line. He may not have even noticed that James Gordon Jr. gradually forgot why he was trying to solve this super difficult problem. Like a demon. As long as he doesn't solve this problem, he won't be able to get out of this vicious circle of thinking. He must personally punish that damn riddle gentleman, Edward Lynn. Anyway. Wait, I can use the process of elimination. Little James took out a marker and marked the places where Edward Lynn had blown up one by one. In fact, just looking at the explosion locations, Edward Lynn has not bombed as many places as the fake Joker tonight, nor has the fake Joker bombed it so neatly and artistically. But who gives Edward Lynn a high hatred value? Little Gordon completely fell in love with the riddle gentleman. There's also the place where the fake Joker exploded. James Gordon Jr. is trying to mark the spot where he was bombed tonight. Suddenly, little James Gordon's expression suddenly changed. The pen in his hand fell to his feet involuntarily. If you get an electric shock. Could it be? His pupils shrank sharply, he quickly took out the marker from his feet, and then connected the locations where the riddle gentleman had exploded with straight lines. Then, at the midpoint of all connected lines. 2355. Yilin looked down at the land. It's almost time. At this time, the sound coming from the helicopter's public channel reached Yilin's ears. B-78. B-78. You humming knocked the lamp crooked again. Wait. B-78. You are too close to Wayne Tower. Too close. Are you still drunk? Huh. 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 Yilin took off her earmuffs directly. To be honest, operating a helicopter is really difficult. Fortunately, the helicopter was thoughtfully equipped with a helicopter instruction manual. It took Yilin 28 minutes to initially master the helicopter's operating skills. Fortunately, Yilin has no intention of becoming a professional helicopter pilot, as long as she can fly. 10 minutes ago. All helicopters circling Gotham City chasing criminals have received orders from Mayor Gordon. Give up chasing other criminals and move closer to Wayne Tower. I didn't expect that guy to think of it. Yilin smiled slightly, I guess I found it accidentally while staring at the map. However, that is only part of it. Even if it is discovered, it doesn't matter. The rail transit all over Gotham, my riddle gentleman, is going to blow up. It's fixed. Yilin said to herself with a determined tone. 0000. The short sword and the long and narrow spear overlap at the same moment. The Gotham clock tower emitted melodious bells. Dang, dang, dang. Gotham City. When the time is fixed at midnight. Almost as soon as the bell rang. The intricate rail transit all over Gotham City suddenly and without warning, experienced a series of explosions. Explode from the east to the west of Gotham City. Explode from the north to the south of Gotham City. Boom 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 boom. The explosion craze caused by Joker has not yet subsided, and the sky above Gotham City was instantly illuminated by a stronger burst of light, like the morning sun. The dark clouds over Gotham City were like burning clouds, red and dazzling. Boom 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 boom. Orbits collapse from the sky. Countless Gotham citizens turned pale with fear and fled. As expected, Li Erpang was uneducated. When he saw this scene, he didn't know it was Yilin's handiwork. He was so frightened that he yelled F***ck again. Overhead, a huge steel rail was falling towards the top of Li Erpang's head. Run dash. Li Erpang scurried away with his head in his arms. Pan Zhenji continued to run around with his head in his hands. Zhu Yunar had no expression on her face and raised her sword to the sky. The steel bars were split instantly without any pause. Suzayasu slapped the steel bar hard, and used skill to push the steel bar aside. When she looked down, her palms were dripping with blood. Then, it began to slowly heal. Boom 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 boom. Yilin's eyes began to be flooded with words. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham City's Burnley District Rail Transit System and obtain a crime value of add 50,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham City's Diamond District Rail Transit System and obtain a crime value of add 50,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham City's East Side Rail Transit System and obtain a crime value of add 50,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Gotham City's Oddsburg District Transportation System and obtain a crime value of add 50,000. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, completely destroy Gotham City's famous rail transit system. Your infamy will be immortal in the history of Gotham City, and you will receive an additional reward of add 50,000 crime points. Kill the good citizens of Gotham City and get add 10 crime value. Kill Gotham City. Get chaos value add 18. Get chaos value add 1. Get chaos value add 2. Get chaos value add 21. Get chaos value. Fortunately, the word was small. The earth-shattering explosion caused by this moment almost blinded Yilin's retina. The chaos value is too much. After all, Gotham is not only populated by people, there are also many cockroaches and rats. This explosion almost covered the entire Gotham City, causing countless deaths. However, Yilin had to complain. This really fits the original setting of Gotham City. Human life is worthless. How much does 10 cockroaches equal 1 Gotham City citizen? I don't know whether this rule exists or whether I have learned mathematics well. Li Erpang, can you believe that spitting out 10 mouthfuls of phlegm is equal to 1 life? Well, if I have a choice, I want to be a good person. Yilin set the helicopter to a hovering state. Although it could not last long, this moment was enough. Stepping out of the cockpit, Yilin opened the hatch and jumped in. The B-78 helicopter, under the control of Yilin, stopped right above the Wayne Tower. Not long after Yilin jumped out of the helicopter. Others have already discovered the anomaly of this B-78 helicopter. I yelled in the communication channel for a long time but no one responded. Almost immediately after Yilin jumped out of the helicopter, all the helicopter teams surrounding Wayne Tower focused their spotlights in this direction. In mid-air, Yilin took out 2 cards from the storage space. Then crushed them separately. 2 rays of light of different colors turned into countless light spots from Yilin's hands and merged into Yilin's body. In the upper right corner of the Apostle panel, next to the countdown skull buff icon, there is an inexplicable wings icon and a polyline icon. Etc. What is that? Black tuxedo, gentleman's hat, white gloves, yes, yes, yes it is him. It's him, it's him, it's him. It's the Riddle Gentleman. Edward Wren. He actually jumped out of a helicopter. Phew, kkkk. Am I dreaming? Oh cake seller, the vodka last night must have been too strong. I saw a hallucination. The Riddle Gentleman actually used an umbrella as a parachute. No. We saw it too. The Riddle Gentleman is flying. He's landing with an umbrella. Poyen, doctor. I need a doctor. Yilin was in mid-air. Back straight. Straight up. Holding the umbrella in one hand, he landed slowly in a trajectory that was completely inconsistent with the laws of physics. Judging from Yilin's trajectory, he will soon land on the roof of Wayne Tower. Everyone who witnessed the scene couldn't believe it. There is a helipad on the rooftop of Wayne Tower, which is nice. But that is for stopping, not for stopping Geo. All the spotlights fell on Yilin. That mysterious and elegant gentleman, at this moment, attracting everyone's attention and the lights gathering, is like an elegant devil appearing silently from the darkness, or an elf flying in the night. At this moment when the entire Gotham is burning in flames. Everyone who witnessed the scene unanimously thought of the end of the puzzle. The gentleman will descend in the center of the fireworks and take off the crown of the old Dark King. They also understood in an instant. Gentleman will come in the center of the fireworks. Here, now, here. All of this pussy, is so rounded and perfect, all fitting into the puzzle that no one can solve. This scene, in their eyes. It is far more shocking and mysterious than the Joker that caused a big explosion in the city, and it will be unforgettable for the entire Gotham. Why are you so stupid? James Gordon Jr. suddenly roared crazily on the communication channel, "Kill him! Kill!" All helicopter pilots suddenly reacted. Chug tug tug tug. Countless tongues of fire spewed out crazily. To the Riddle gentleman slowly falling in the sky. No matter how elegant or charming he is still a criminal. Gotham City's criminals, kill. Kill kill kill. But countless bullets passed by Yulin and deflected strangely. That hail of bullets, not to mention killing the Riddle gentleman, didn't even leave a single bullet hole in the umbrella. What? How can it be? Devil. Devil. The Riddle gentleman is the real devil. The helicopter team fired wildly. Seeing that there were no bullets hitting Yulin, she was instantly confused in the wind. James Gordon Jr. also witnessed this scene. But he was standing underneath the Wayne Tower. Can't see clearly. But the news coming back from the communication channel also made him feel extremely horrified. This, can this be a human being? Stop being a human being. Riddle gentleman. Etc. Stop, stop, stop. There's someone on the rooftop of Wayne Tower. Cease fire, cease fire. When Yurin landed lightly on the H subtitle. Spotlight beams down. They found that besides the Riddle gentleman, there was another person on the rooftop who had already moved the bench and table, as if he was waiting eagerly. The man had white hair and was wearing a luxurious bathrobe and slippers. It's Bruce Wayne. Cease fire. Attention. Attention. Attention everyone. Gentleman Riddle, Edward Wynn has kidnapped Bruce Wayne, the richest man in Gotham. All units cease fire. If Bruce Wayne is accidentally injured, no one will pay to rebuild Gotham. Hiss. Upon hearing the tragic news that no one was funding the rebuilding of Gotham, everyone gasped in horror. Yulin silently calculated the remaining time of the buff in her mind. Put away your umbrella. Looked up. Looking at the old man in front of him. There is no doubt that there is only one possibility for those who can wait for him here in advance. Bruce Wayne. The Batman whose name resounded in Gotham City 20 years ago. Of course, now his name is also resounding throughout Gotham, just by another name. Yulin didn't look surprised at all. Others may not be able to guess. But for Bruce Wayne himself, taking off the crown of the old Dark King in the riddle is not a riddle at all, nor is it a hint, it is an explicit statement. Sit, Bruce Wayne motioned for Yulin to sit down. Yulin raised his eyebrows but did not refuse and sat down opposite Bruce Wayne. First meeting, Mr. Riddle, Edward Wynn. Yulin smiled slightly, I won't introduce myself, and you don't need to. It seems that this time, you finally didn't guess it. This time? Bruce Wayne's pupils shrank. In other words, the riddle gentleman in front of him had already known that he had guessed the previous riddles. Bruce Wayne chuckled. Then he poured half a glass of red wine for each of them, with an apology on his face, sorry, I was in a hurry and couldn't find a more expensive red wine. Yulin drank it all in one gulp. It would be nice to feel the power of money ability for yourself. I'm curious, what is the answer to your riddle? Bruce Wayne never forgot this. Yulin smiled and said, I think everyone is curious about the answer, aren't they?